Okay, looks like it has gone live. So, welcome everybody to the 1879 actual play. I am Brett Decker. I'm the line developer for 1879. I'll be playing Nigel. And if everybody else wants to sound off while I do the usual postings for the announcement.
Hi, I'm Joel. I'm one of the writers for 1879. I will be playing Morgana today.
I'm Chris. I'll be playing Weymont.
I'm Michelle, and I'll be playing August.
I'm Lexi. I play River.
I'm Andi, and I'm Cold. And possibly the GM. We're not sure. Who wants to recap?
She's a cat wrangler.
I'm happy to recap if people want me to.
Sure.
So we are continuing to investigate what appears to be a murder. Of a Miss Kathleen Thomas, who appears to be an unpleasant person, and this has led us to several related crimes where pretty much all of the victims have been horrible people who've been killed by someone with a grudge, appear to be attacked by someone with a grudge against them, where we found a perpetrator. We went and talked to one of the murderers, and I think we may have all walked away from it going, well, he was probably worse than the victim, because he wasn't a very pleasant person at all. And we may have done a few things to trigger him having a minor psychotic break in a jail cell and trying to kill Morgana.
Oh yeah.
It was a little more dramatic than I'd planned, but
Oh yeah, I got punched in the face.
he had murdered his wife, who was.
I thought August took the punch for you.
August very politely took the punch from me because he's a proper gentleman, and Morgana is duly grateful at that. Because she can do many things, but taking a punch isn't one of her special skills.
I'd rather it wasn't one of August's special skills, but you know.
That said, proper gentleman. Thank you very much. We had also, from something he'd said, spotted that in his description of the killing, he was wondering why she, clearly somebody other than his wife, was drinking the blood. And a number of the killings have had a lot of blood missing. So we might be dealing with a vampire who is manipulating people to murder for them and switching off the electricity grid.
Rude.
It's getting complicated. Also, lots of unpleasant people being murdered, which, you know, might be a plus point, I suppose. We probably shouldn't let it continue.
So yeah, as I remember it, you guys have been investigating and looking for information, and one of the killers, proposed killers, is in jail. You visited him. He's, let's call it unhinged. That seems like a good term. He's unhinged. He may have tried to injure Morgana. Thankfully, she wasn't. Other people may have gotten hurt but it was quickly shut down. He said specifically, if I remember correctly, that she was licking the blood. If I remember, wasn't that it? She was licking the blood?
Yes, something like that sounds about right.
Which led to the question, who is she? Because the idea that the victim was licking her own blood seems weird. Although maybe anybody licking the blood is weird.
Anything involving this at all is weird.
I mean, seems highly, highly improbable. So then, who is she? And I believe that actually is where we kind of left off, was leaving the police precinct. Does that sound right?
Yes, or well, the jail. I think we're at because I think we were.
Jail, yeah, because he's been convicted, yeah. So, yes, jail. And what do you guys want to do?
You know, there is such a thing in electricity called vampire loads.
But
I will pretend that I know nothing about that.
Oh, this will
I'm
just
not
be
going to tell you whether
this
you're
will
right
just
or
be a
wrong. I'm just going
sarcastic
to say that
remark
my
made
dad's an
offhand as
electrician.
we're walking.
My uncle, and so's so was my grandfather's. But that's actually neither here nor there. As I try to build a fire. So, where are you guys going?
I don't know about anybody else. I have to do some painkillers and a cup of tea.
Yes, painkillers and a cup of tea.
Oh, and that was the other thing that was there last time because Weymont wasn't with us in player form. I think we'd sent him off to do some
Oh,
library research, but ended up finding out a whole load of other interesting stuff that took the case in a much different direction. I think he was
yes.
looking
So
at
sorry about
possession.
that, Waymon. You were off to the library to study stuff,
All right. Do you need me to make
and
some
so
sort of roll for that?
I don't really think so. I'm not even sure what you were off to study. I
That
will
makes two
say
of us.
this. It was a good, safe way to make sure your character was still doing stuff while we didn't make too big of decisions for you while you weren't there.
Right.
You didn't get punched. Be happy.
Excellent.
So you guys will have to you'll have to catch poor Waymont up.
We can do that while having a cup of tea and some painkillers.
There you go.
What
That seems
painkillers do
lovely.
you have these days? Opium?
Opium,
Aspirin.
aspirin, and
Laudanum?
especially in a tea form. There's actually several, because a lot of that stuff was easy. You could have cocaine.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say this is this
This
is
is time
pre
where you can get
1900.
anything
They
you
will mess
want.
you up.
I mean,
I was just looking
they
at,
can just put
a bit of
some on
aspirin.
them and you just won't give a fuck. Well, I mean, if you don't want to get crazy high, fine. You can just do aspirin.
Yeah.
laudanum.
But if you
Yeah,
want to get
some of this
crazy
laudanum.
stuff,
Yeah, that keeps the blood warm, that does.
you Valium was totally done. Laudanum was done. Those won't stop the pain. You just won't give a fuck. Cocaine, opiate, opium. Yeah, you name it. You could get your hands on it. So
Yeah, okay.
some aspirin would be easy enough. Might be
Yeah.
in your tea because aspirin was originally a bark that you would make into
Yeah.
a tea. So
Yeah.
might
Willow
literally
bark.
be in your tea.
Mhm.
Yep.
Imagine these guys will come back from wherever they were, and upon seeing them, Waymont will immediately make some tea.
Yeah. And Weymont will then get a.
Black eye, bloody lip.
And then Weymont will
That's just
receive a.
August.
And that's just August. Everybody else has to get their own injuries.
So did a
Weymont will
war
receive an.
happen while I was doing the research?
And River only has a couple swollen knuckles.
So I'll ask you again. What happened?
One of the murderer in one of the related cases may have thrown a punch or two.
Wasn't he in prison?
Yes, but
Yes.
we were questioning him.
Wow. Wasn't there like a guard there or something?
He was handcuffed to the
Nope.
table.
Yeah, that's why it's just a bruise.
How did he punch you if he was handcuffed to the table?
The chains may have been too long, I think.
The answer is he was only handcuffed on one side. You know, his legs are kind of halfway shackled, and his arm was handcuffed to one side of the table. The guard didn't think, and he was being all good for a little bit. It just didn't stay that way.
So what I'm hearing here is that you just got a bit too close to the crazy person.
In their defense, he didn't come off as quite as crazy when they got too close. And then they kind of purposely did it. So, explain.
We may have, well, I may have done something to bring his crazy out by blocking him. He seemed to be
Talking to
swinging
him.
between. He seemed to be swinging between sane and apologetic, and frankly, deeply unpleasant. I thought it might be whatever was possessing him, but I think he was just a jerk.
Oh well, hindsight is perfectly clear, I suppose.
But it looks like there might be some other individual who was influencing him to do the murder. He talked about her licking up the blood, didn't he? That's what you said after I'd left. You said after I'd left the room.
Yeah, it was why
Yeah.
is she licking up the blood?
Okay.
And seemed
so,
to basically have a mental breakdown.
So what? Like some kind of vampire?
Maybe.
That we're not
Yes.
sure. But there's definitely
Or maybe-
something influencing him.
Or, you know, if she was just licking up the blood, maybe she was just a deeply crazy person. That is also a possibility.
A deeply crazy person who might be able to influence people's minds enough to make them commit murder.
Well, there is magic that can influence people's minds.
And leave them permanently damaged.
Excellent. That's good to know. Reassuring.
I mean, not that most magi would ever do that.
I don't think this is most magi.
I would like to say, for most of you, this would be a good reason on why you might want to police mages. I'm just saying. There's some
What are you
societal-
saying? Are you saying we should call on the magic police? Who are you now? The magic police?
That's a thing,
Oh,
and
they
hey,
exist.
I'm
The Arcane
saying
Crimes Division, they exist, but that's a whole different campaign.
yes. But more importantly, what I'm saying is that for those of you who aren't really magic users, that might make magic users sound kind of scary. Might be understanding why some people are afraid of it.
Yeah. So far, I haven't heard of them being immune to bullets.
Oh, they're definitely not immune to bullets.
I would say that you are correct. Most mages are not immune to bullets. At least, unless Brad's come up with I'm not aware of. Most
People
that are mages can still get hit with a bullet.
Most people are not immune to bullets.
Also true.
So no real reason to worry about them.
I mean, honestly, you would be surprised at the number of problems that can be solved by bullets and caused by
I,
bullets.
as an American, am not surprised by that. That's why we have guns. Takes a whole lot of shit.
But if you want to think about it that way, you obviously can. Like, magic is a tool. It's not evil or anything, it's just there.
That's actually fairly true. Well, it's like a gun. You don't do anything with it, it doesn't do anything. However, in the hands of someone who's not so put together, that could be problematic.
Like a gun, you mean?
Well, like I said, I'm agreeing with you. Much like a gun, if you don't do anything with it, it doesn't do much. If you do something with it, hopefully you made the right choices.
I mean, I suppose the only real difference that's scary is that with a gun you can just shoot someone.
I guess
You
that's
can
true. You
often-
do things with magic.
Mm.
You might just if they just shot.
Also, a gun is much more visible.
And accessible for more people.
Absolutely true.
But point remains, yeah, we have some weirdness.
So, do you have any idea where to start looking for this quote-unquote person?
I'm not sure how it worked, but Nigel, after you looked right into his eyes, something happened and he seemed to remember a lot more about the events.
Well, because you were pushing him on his personality and getting him angry. I pushed him into remembering.
How did you do that?
Like I said, you were asking him questions and insulting him. I pushed it. I was asking him direct questions about the event. Somehow managed to break through.
You were insulting him?
He appeared to really dislike women.
Oh,
As, you know, should be fairly obvious.
That's the bad crazy person really dislikes women. It broke up like I really dislike women. I'm like, I don't. The bad person who did bad
The-
things really disliked women.
The bad person hates women. Yes, that's the one.
And yes, for out of character for Weymont's knowledge, I had to use a dispel magic on him.
ah.
So that's left a question.
That's why they're like, but wait, how did you get through? Because Nigel's being all stealthy.
Yeah, he's just in denial. His feet are wet and he can see the pyramid.
It doesn't like magic, but he's stuck with it.
Feet are wet, can see the
You're a
pyramids.
mage now, tug it up.
You're a wizard, Nigel.
Silence, Hagrid.
You
Sorry.
know, I envision an intervention. And, like the game. Okay, Nigel, we all need to sit you down. We all need to talk to you. Nigel, we know you don't want to hear this, but you're a wizard. And that's us when you don't agree to be forthcoming with your wizardiness. Is that a thing? A wizard intervention? It might be in this.
Well,
Should
I
be
don't know.
now.
Most
Could
people
be.
who are
It is now.
A wizardvention?
Yes, that's going in the book now. I don't know how, but sneaking that in.
I mean, you would think that most people who had magic would be somewhat excited by it, but
It's a
no.
If you a friend or loved one who's in denial about being a magic user, we have a service that will help you for your wizard intervention.
Intervention.
Just call this number.
Yeah. Please send a note of intrigue to
Call 555.
Invocative. No, that's too weird. That's too clumsy.
No, that doesn't
I'll just
work.
do a little bit of work, and this is a sidebar ad for a book, Brad. I'm just
Well, figure it out and we'll put it on Don's list.
okay. That's Chris and Joel's job. Y'all figure that out, make it look pretty, and we'll give it to Donna because that's gonna go to book somewhere. That's good filler. So Now, Weymont is caught up for the most part.
So
What
I
do you
guess the
guys
next
do?
question is, what now? What you
If
talked to the guy. Did you find out anything we can follow up?
we might be able to, and I'm going to say this carefully because it might be fall into the categories of potentially bad ideas. Given Kate Webster has shown the troll lady has shown a marked change in her personality.
I'm not standing in front of her.
We could try and find a way to snap whatever happened to her. As I said, it might be categorized as a bad idea.
Just get Nigel to glare at her. That seemed to
Yeah.
work for the other guy.
Yeah, I would like
And the
to.
rest
I
of
would
us
like to have seen that.
and the rest of us can stand out of reach.
I think the more
I am not standing in front of Kate.
I think the more pertinent issue, we know there's got to be some sort of compulsion going on here, however it's induced. I think the more pertinent issue is figuring out what it is and how to track the person doing it. I don't know that causing another breakdown is necessarily going to help us with that, because this man was not really able to give us a whole lot more once he had broken down.
Well, yeah, but see, here's the difference. If it was compulsion, then in one case, the man you talked to before actually killed someone. I think all Kate did was, turn off some lights. So she might be a little bit more lucid if we can get through to her.
Mm.
Or she was
Still
magically
not
induced
standing in
to
front of her.
killing somebody.
Well, if we assume that she wasn't the one who performed the killing, who did? We don't have any other leads there.
This mysterious blood drinking person, which isn't the best of leads, and is slightly more of the subject of a penny dreadful, I fear, but
Yeah, that's not exactly the
think-
best lead. We have to make some connections.
I think we probably need to talk to Kate anyway, see if we can actually get her talking rather than
yes,
breaking her. And see if she can tell us what she saw and see if we can get a description if she saw a person.
Yeah, as I say, I do think that she'll be a little bit more lucid.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't think that if you were to say break an enchantment that was on somebody, I don't think that it's going to be the enchantment that's going to cause them to go crazy.
well, the enchantment might be driving them crazy. Removing it should make it better, surely, you'd hope.
Yeah,
But
that's what I mean.
That's
It's
if there was an enchantment on Mr. Allen, well, how do you break an enchantment with just words? That's strange. Useful to know.
I don't know, Nigel. How did you do that?
Like I said, I was inquiring onto the event. You saw when I was asking him about the event, he was starting to get pushed up against it.
I think I understand. I think I understand what he means. I think basically it wasn't that the enchantment was broken by an external force. It was just that you pushed his mind into breaking it, but on its own.
And if if you're able to push him hard enough, he ran into it. Also possible, if I understand, these enchantments have time durations to them,
Oh, you think it might have just ran out?
or it may have been weaker, which allowed our points of inquiry to finally break it through.
It is possible.
Assuming whatever's happened to Kate was more recent, that may be harder to do.
Maybe not. We'll have to go and find out.
Maybe don't antagonize her this time, because she didn't want to particularly talk to us.
No, but that's part of the problem. Is I think you kind of have to. You have to cause that stress in order to get it, whatever it is, to break. It could also just be chemically induced.
Now, that I don't know as much about. Anyway, clearly what we have to do is go and talk to Kate. The question is, what questions are we going to ask her? We should probably think about that prior to being standing in front of her, just in case.
And it might be worth approaching her where she can't just slam a door in our face.
Mm-hmm.
Which would mean...
At work?
On her rounds.
How soon till the next full moon? Or is it the new moon that these were happening on?
No moons at all. There's no correlation. We had that in our notes. It's not moon related.
Yeah, thus far we haven't been able to really put a time. I don't think we had been able to put together a pattern from the time periods, correct? They were all seemingly random.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been fairly randomly spread over about 6 months, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, there's been like 7 killings in 6 months or 8 killings in 7, something like that.
Yeah. It's about 7 in 8 months, as I find it earlier notes. So it's just under 1 a month, but not not consistently timed or anything.
So predicting one is probably not likely. For that matter, how would you predict the target? You'd have to find somebody who's a miserable sod. Well, there's a lot of those in London.
Earlier conversations that were not recorded, that's apparently due to the weather. Everybody's miserable because the weather's depressing.
Oh, it would have been even worse in this era because, all the fog and... London was called the Big Smoke for a reason.
Yes, it was quite toxic, as I understand it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
At least we're past the years of the Great Stink, where the smell got so bad they had to, in the 1850s, they had to evacuate Parliament to another city. And then and that's why London has a sewer system. Disrupt life for MPs, suddenly things get done.
Shocking. Who knew?
Yeah.
Right, so, plans. Go.
Oh, questions.
We could start by asking directly about the woman.
Because she used to work for the deceased, didn't she? Or at least that's what the rumor was suggesting.
Yes.
Do we even know what could potentially be behind wanting to cause such murders and consuming blood? Would it maybe be a good idea to go and try to research some potential ideas there?
As you said earlier, you did say that the woman just licked her own blood. So
Well, we
that
don't
just
know.
No, no.
All he said was,
It,
why is she licking up the blood? We don't know if that was the victim, if there was someone else, or what.
it
It
seems
does
unlikely to be the victim.
say that the victim licked her own blood, which would imply someone else.
right. Okay.
Especially because the victim had no tongue.
Yes.
Right. Well, maybe they're just killing people they don't think anyone's going to miss.
If you find somebody who hates somebody, it's probably much easier to influence them to kill them.
That's also true.
Equally, could the hate be a requirement? The emotion involved?
Possibly. It would certainly make it a lot easier, I would think.
And of course, no one cares about the vagabond population. So,
The thing with that is that not everybody's been from a vagabond level. Several of these have been middle, upper middle, and at least now one upper class.
But there could be other killings we're not noticing because let's not complicate matters. There may be other killings that we're not seeing. Let's just stop the ones we've know are happening.
Well,
Well, not every.
if there are
And
other
then
killings, we would have records of them with the electrical grid. Unless it occurred somewhere else
Yes,
entirely.
we'd have electrical breakages without there being reported killings, which would be likely in certain parts of the city, I suppose. But
specifically weird, but it's technically feasible that there's ones that were missed because they weren't as weird. Like that area didn't have power at the time that the thing happened, or there was an outage due to something else and the timing happened to coordinate. But there's no way for you guys to know anything like that. So it
yeah,
probably muddies up the water to think that far out. It sounds like the two main things I'm hearing are go and ask the lady more questions or research what the heck likes to lick blood.
Why not both?
yeah.
We don't need everybody there to ask her questions. That'll just, you know. Right. I was going to say intimidate her, but
Make her angry.
yes.
Yeah, and I did spend the points to get research as a skill, so.
So it sounds like Nigel wants to be team research. Who's going with Nigel and who's going to visit the large rendering salesperson?
Well, I have been in I have been in this library for ages, so I would quite like to get out.
That's fine. I will swap with you then, Weymont. I will quite happily research with Nigel. Because
All
I
right.
don't want
No
to get
more
hit by a troll.
punching!
I don't want to get hit by a troll lady.
No, a good plan would be for you to not do that.
all you have to do is get out of the way.
I tried.
And then River
Uh,
got
to be fair, going to the library to research is getting out of the way.
So we go.
Those two are going to research. The other three are going to question. Correct?
Correct.
Yep.
All right. Who's going first, guys?
Well, you can take care of the research stuff quite quickly, I think.
Probably. You guys want to give me a couple rolls?
I can do that. Let's see what we got here. I got an 11.
6. 10.
So August has a 10 and Nigel has an 11. Close. So vampires are all the craze right now, and they apparently drink blood, so licking it seems bad. There's also a couple of fae, unseelie fae creatures that are very into blood, like red caps. That one's pretty easy to come across. There's hints and stuff that you guys just didn't get to look into further on other ones. So there seems to be several fey creatures if one is to believe that. Depending on the version of the war story, there's some stuff from other mythos that drink blood that seem vampire akin. Like there's a really cool, crazy one from like somewhere in Southeast Asia, Indonesia type of area where like the top half of the body separates and goes and has this like butterfly like roll out tongue that attaches and sucks blood, specifically liking from pregnant women, which is weird and creepy, especially since you have to salt the bottom half to get it so they can't reconnect before daylight. You're really hoping whatever the freak that thing is. But
Oh,
since
don't get me
pregnant women,
started on crazy stuff from Asia.
yes, but so you're proving it's not that, and since most of these none of these have been pregnant, as far as you know, you're thinking probably not, so that's good.
Mm-hmm.
There's stories of werewolves that will eat. So licking blood's not far off, like eat the heart of the victims to gain strength or knowledge. I mean, are werewolves a thing? Are vampires a thing? What about fae? Are they a thing? I mean, magic wasn't a thing 10 years ago. It's a thing.
Well, let's
What
focus on stuff that either is feminine or could take a feminine form. Because he specifically said, why is she licking up the blood?
So fae, vampires, werewolves, all of which could. You guys could spend a little bit more time trying to nail it down. Maybe the next day.
That's fine. Yeah, just start working our way through possibilities and see what we can narrow it down to most likely ones and get what information we can on those.
Yep. All right. The people who are questioning, you have a lighter day. Maybe. You're going to have to get up super early if you want to catch her on her rounds, though. Because remember, that's going to kitchen staffs. She's not going to be in the neighborhoods early or later she has to be there early when they take their deliveries.
Right, so I talked to her before and she shut the door on me, so I think it's your turn.
You know about the time that she'll be in that neighborhood because she was apparently there about the time of the murders and has places she goes to that have orders on that street. So, super early morning for you guys. trying to stake out the area and wait for her to stop at the one neighbor's house that you know she goes to. That sound
Sounds
about right?
reasonable.
Yep.
So she's taking basically equivalent of mason jars of rendered lard out of the back of that wagon that she pulls. And heading towards the house. Well, heading probably towards the servant's delivery entrance on the back side of the house, but yeah. Still the house.
Set up an ambush for near her trolley for when she comes back out. That's mostly an ambush in inverted commas, but
Is that what you guys want to do? Sounds fair.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
By the way, Brad, is Dispel an actual spell, or is it just something you can
It is a
try?
skill.
Skill. Hmm.
So
Weird, I don't
it
have that.
it's probably 10 minutes, if that, maybe 5. And she's coming back with about the same amount of jars, just empty ones. And heading back to put them in the back of the wagon.
I think what I'll do while we're observing her is flip on Astral Sight and take a little look at her aura.
Okay.
Like me to roll for that.
Sure. It makes all the money we spend on dice worthwhile.
This is a true fact. Okay. 12.
Now, had you seen her aura before?
No.
But you've seen like some other spaces that seem to have almost disruptive patterns.
Yeah.
So it's there. It's just odd. It's almost like it's right, but it's just not. Parts of the patterns are not consistent. Or
Does it look like it's been edited?
yes. It definitely looks like it has been affected by something inside of her. Because you've never seen a pattern pretty much do this.
That's strange. Something is wrong with her pattern.
Yeah, I think it was Nigel who hadn't seen it before. But I don't think he told anybody what he saw. So
well, let's see if we can snap into it. Well, we were told her personality had changed.
All right. On you go. I'll be right here providing support.
Hello,
Right.
Caitlin.
Well,
what was that, River?
Hello. Caitlin, right?
She's a little startled. She hadn't noticed you. She almost drops the jar, but catches onto it really quickly. Yep. Do I know you?
we talked a couple of days ago.
She then notices
You
you
were-
and there's a recognition that lights up. Yes. Why are you here? I'm looking.
Sorry, what was that, Andy?
When she sees you, she notices you. Like she hadn't really noticed
Yeah.
you guys earlier. And when you say that, there's a light of recognition because she remembered you. I don't know that she ever saw River Because River didn't, I don't think, talk to her before.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
Yeah. So she didn't connect River to you. She sees you, there's a live recognition, and she fairly angrily said something like, "What are you doing here? I'm trying to work. I have to make a living."
We are investigating what appears to be a series of murders, and you may be involved, and something may have been done to you that we would hope we can help you with as part of this investigation. You have been, for want of a better word, cursed in some way.
I
I'll
will
be
do
keeping
my
an eye.
best to keep between Caitlin and the others.
Okay. An empathic, she's, I guess the best word would be irritable, irritated.
Irritable is the yes.
Yeah.
Well, she's definitely irritated now and irritable before. Anxious would be probably another good term, especially as you're mentioning that she could be involved in something. She definitely is more anxious. Involved in any crime. Just leave me alone.
We have reason to believe there is somebody, possibly a woman, who has been using magic to influence people, and she may have done this to you.
Empathic sense again, please.
Give me a second. I was just making a conversation roll on 20 to try and become more friendly with her. I will then make another empathic sense roll, which is a 10.
Okay. So it's hard to put a word, but her emotions spike really hard with what you just said. And with you having such a good role in conversation, there's this obvious emotional conflict of your words are not threatening, but she feels threatened.
The magic, we think, interferes somewhat with your memory, but you still may feel the emotions that are left over. And we are honestly trying to help you with this because I do not think that you have willingly done anything wrong.
Perception.
From everyone?
Yep. Everyone who's there.
Yep. Even me.
Will awareness work?
Yep. If you are
Aware.
there, you can perception and/or awareness.
7 on an awareness for me.
Yes, me too.
19.
Come on, Dice.
So-
You can do it this time.
A slight tremor that started in her hand,
13.
and there's a tightening in around like her eyes and at the corners of her mouth, and it's very slight.
Caitlin, dear, let's set down on these jars before something happens.
I've
Yes,
gotta got work. I've got to get my deliveries on time. I
you need to let us help you. That's all we're trying to do.
and her head just kind of snaps up, kind of suddenly, and kind of glares at you. There is no help. And then she,
There is
I don't think I'm supposed to talk to you.
there is always help. And who told you not to talk to us? 18 on a diplomacy roll because I'm trying to persuade her to help us help her, to help us help her.
So angry. I talk to you. You're gonna ruin everything. And then there's this very quiet, weak kind of God hopes you ruin everything. And she starts to try to head back to her wagon. She is very obviously kind of shook up at this point. Like no roll
Please.
needed. She is very
Please, Kate, we are honestly trying to help, and you need us to help you. Morgana will be trying to step in her way, but try to not get within troll punch reach. If she can do it, she's willing to step into that range if that's her only option. But if she can avoid being slapped by a troll woman, she would rather that was the way. And
so
hopefully
that
River will be
tremor in her.
working with.
Go ahead, Joel.
Yeah, sorry, I was just saying, hopefully River will work with me on that so we can try and keep her corralled somewhat so we can keep talking to her until she starts to see some sense.
You kind of everything roboted on my end.
Okay. So Nigel is very gently trying to push her, and she has tried to kind of walk away, and he's trying to position himself to stop her from leaving without necessarily coming off as aggressive, and also while
Not Nigel. Nigel's researching.
Morgana.
sorry, gone without trying to come off as aggressive and without necessarily being in bitch smacking range.
Yeah, River will definitely step in and be okay, Caitlin. I know you feel like there's no one that can help, but that's only because you're not talking to us. If you talk to us, let us know what's going on. We'll do everything in our power to help you.
So she basically says something along the like, you don't want her to notice you, and that tremor is getting worse.
Who is
Like,
this person? We don't want.
it's
Who is
like
this
this
person?
rattling. It's not a person.
Who
I
is this
couldn't hear that
person?
whisper.
Sorry, she whispers, "It's not a person." And then her eyes start to roll back in her head, and she starts convulsing and falls to the ground.
Whoa.
Take off my cloak, get it under her head, and just watch her.
I will rush forward at this point. What?
Hey,
What just happened?
before you rush forward, are you still astral?
Yes.
I need like a will check, darling.
A will check? Well, I'm afraid that's where I'm a Viking. Probably.
Watch him roll a 4.
I'm gonna roll a 4.
It'll be a 5.
I have faith.
It was not a 4 or a 5. It was an 11. Thank you.
Good job.
That's a pretty Viking roll. Good work.
So you were kind of focused on her astral during this. And the more they push, the more that she seems to be coming up with not just angry go away answers, the more her aura itself seems to be glitchy, weird. Whatever's tugging on it starts to like be reacting to this. It is not liking her trying to access those areas that it doesn't seem to want her to know about or to or whatever.
Well.
And she, as she had whispered, and you couldn't hear the whisper, but she whispered something, and they had this kind of odd look on their faces, which for them would be connected with the she's not a person. Whatever this is, it's almost a it's almost even painful for you to see whatever the heck just happened, and you're not even sure what the heck just happened. And then she started, basically looks like she's having a seizure.
Well, I mean, she's obviously having a seizure if her aura's coming to bits.
Yeah, like this is definitely magic-y and definitely not healthy for her.
Right.
So
this is why I asked you earlier, Rad, how dispel worked. I didn't know it was a skill.
that's okay. Maybe you can ask or look it up, and maybe Nigel will accidentally tell you. So, River is trying to keep her from, injuring her head.
Her pattern is coming to pieces.
That was
I'll
not
fill her
rose
back up.
intending.
As far as you're aware, that's not how that works.
That's not how that works.
That looks painful. By the way, that's painful.
No kidding. Maybe we should
So,
knock her out.
River's trying to make sure she doesn't bounce her head off the ground hard. Weymont is rushing closer. What is Morgana doing?
Should we get her to a hospital or to the offices?
The offices. The hospital's not going to help.
Right. Can you two stay here while I find us a taxi cab?
Right.
So the convulsions only last probably 20-30 seconds. I'm going to need some sort of concentration type check to keep your aura going, or your astral projection reading.
Astral sight, you mean?
Yeah, that one.
I think, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think you just have to spend the strain. Am I right?
Brad.
Yes.
For what is it?
So he was watching with astral sight, and then he started having the seizure. And my thing is that while watching over that, does he have to recast it? Is it a concentration type of will
So
get going?
Astral Sight lasts for a number of rounds equal to your rank. So if he needs to renew it, he just needs to roll it again and then spend the other
Right.
point of strain.
Yep.
How many ranks do you have?
I will roll it and I will spend the other point of strain because, yeah, of
Okay.
course I will.
Okay. Well, I just if you wanted to keep it going.
I will keep it going because I'm keeping an eye on her. Let's see. That's actually a bit better than last time. That's 20.
Well, whatever was causing it to cause that, as she comes out of it, seems to have calmed down. But you're very, very clearly seeing that at best looks like, if you had to put it into words, you ever have something where you've written fairly firmly on paper, or did you teach? You'll see kids will do this. So they write very firmly on the paper, and then when they try to erase it and write over it, you can still see the imprint of what was there.
Yeah.
If you had to explain what you're looking in her aura or in her pattern, that's kind of what it looks like. It looks like somebody has tried to rewrite, imprint over parts of her pattern.
That's crazy. I mean, I wouldn't even. I can't even begin trying to figure out how to fix that.
Nothing you've ever heard of, although people only started seeing patterns a few years ago. But you're very, very convinced that whatever it is isn't good, and it's certainly not good for whoever it's been done to.
Right.
So as she starts to come out of this, if you've ever been around someone who's actually had a seizure, they're very weak and confused right afterwards, and she is definitely very weak and confused. And she kind of just looks and says, I don't want to do this.
Do what?
What she wants.
Who's she?
But then I do, and I'm so angry. I don't want to be this angry anymore. I just don't.
Okay. Okay. Let's stay calm then.
I can't tell you her name, maybe have power. And as soon as she says that, she starts convulsing again. Because apparently, whatever she just said, it doesn't like.
Well, crap.
Sorry,
Right.
for my notes, what was the line there before she started convulsing again?
Can't tell you her name.
Oh, yippee!
She's
It's
the name because names have power.
Right.
She started
Oh,
having
man.
another.
I'm the magician in the party, and I can't think what to do here. I'm gonna have to sit down and try and figure out if there's anything I can do with her pattern to try and unravel this nonsense.
So now as you're
Morgana
walking,
is going to
go ahead, Morgana.
Morgana's going to go and try and find a taxi cab and deploy her clear social status, the fact that she's a young lady, and the fact that she looks and is willing to, like she may tip excessively, to find herself a burly taxi driver who can help her move a troll lady to somewhere where we can keep it.
The biggest problem you would have is that this is not the neighborhood that usually needs a taxi at this hour in the morning.
Yes, yeah.
Your best bet actually would be to go to the house probably and have them phone a taxi.
Yes,
And Morgana,
she will
Morgana would know that. Well,
yes,
they
Morgana, yeah.
have cars, or well, not cars, but steam engines, steam cat, so, or they have someone call one.
Yes, Morgana will go and do that. In fact, given we had some good connections with a taxi firm already in a previous investigation.
Yeah, you can call that one in specific. They will send it over because yeah, they will send someone right away, but that's still going to be a few minutes.
That's fine. Once I've got that in process, I will come back out and try and help dealing and talking gently to the troll lady.
So either she's coming out of the second one or almost coming out of the second one when you get there.
It's not good.
Well, I have transportation coming, a steam carriage, and I've asked them to provide someone who will be able to help us load.
Okay. Good. Seems like it seems like her pattern is becoming damaged every time she talks about something, whatever it is, doesn't like.
It's when she tries to fight the influence.
Yeah, so on the astral projection side, before you run out and have to do it again, it's almost as if her pattern is warring with whatever the heck is trying to superimpose itself, for lack of better terminology.
Right.
Is this the magical effect damaging her, or is it her fighting against it?
I don't think that you have any way of knowing that at this point.
Well, Morgana is probably going to be asking Weymont that, because she assumes he knows all these things, because he's the only mage she knows properly.
You're the mage, you tell us.
Right. Well, it looks to me like she's trying to fight against whatever's trying to alter her pattern. And that's what's causing the seizures. It's definitely some kind of external influence. So if we could perhaps draw a ritual circle around her, I don't know the appropriate rituals. I'd have to get a book.
Hey, Weymont,
Yes.
do you have good relations with any of your possible former teachers, current teachers, anybody that you know who might know more?
I do. I mean, I'm still connected with the college where I studied, so I could give them a call and ask,
Wouldn't hurt.
but I would need a phone for that.
That house has a phone. Morgana will point out.
What, you just want me to go into someone's house and use the? Okay, fine.
They just let me do it. You just need to ask nice enough, or I can come and I can ask on your behalf if you'd prefer.
Well, they've spoken with you already. I think that might be a good idea.
Excellent. Let's go and make it quick, so we don't leave River alone here too long.
Right. Off we go.
Being as Morgana basically said that there's some sort of medical emergency going on, you really don't have any use with them letting you come in and use the phone. Matter of fact, they're not like waking up the, wealthy individual who lives here even to bother with that. They're just letting you in to use the phone because it's a medical emergency.
I will make sure to leave our agency cards so their bosses can, recollect or get some sort of refund on the cost of the phone bill.
Yes, that.
Once I've got Weymont through the door and heading towards the phone, I will go straight back out to help River look after the troll lady, because if there is a weird woman influencing someone, more eyes to spot her doing it so that we don't get the money put on us would seem a good idea.
Yes. Right. So I'm going to phone. I'm gonna put a call through to the college. What time of day is it? Is this middle of the day?
No, this is stupid early in the morning.
Early in the morning. Great.
Before remember,
The-
she has to make deliveries to the rich neighborhoods, and that's the only neighborhood exactly she goes on this street at about this time. So that has to be done before the wealthy people are up. All those deliveries have to be in the kitchen before then. This is remember, she was murdered between 2 and 4 a.m. or something like that.
Right. Well, hopefully I can get through to someone.
Let's give it a go. Tell me, high or low?
Hi.
Oh, that's not good for you.
Of course it isn't.
I can't. It's 4 a.m. Apparently, they don't have someone manning the phone at 4 a.m.
Yeah, that makes sense. Crap.
Hey, I gave you a 50-50 shot, Merlin. I ain't got nothing.
I will try some. I will try some other numbers.
All right. Sorry. So for anybody listening in the text thing, Joel's character, Morgana, ask River, do you have a gun on your person? River side-eyes Morgana with an "Are you serious?" look, of which gonna have to agree with River's "Are you serious?" look. Like that was a question. So do you go back after you can't get through?
Yeah, I can't get through to anyone. It's too early in the morning.
Well, we'll just get her back to the offices and hopefully send someone to get Nigel and August, and we can try and work this out ourselves.
When she comes to the second one, do you try to ask her any more questions?
I don't think that's a good idea.
No, not asking questions, just reassuring her that we're here to help, and we'll take her somewhere where we can get her help for whatever's happening to her.
Okay.
If I need to make diplomacy to convince her to go along with my plan, I'm more than happy to.
Go ahead and roll it. We'll see if it helps keep her calmer. She's not in any position to necessarily fight you.
Yeah.
Calmer to,
19.
So yeah, it comes off very reassuring, and she relaxes a bit, which seems to be probably one of the most helpful things for her at this moment. To not be on edge as well.
Yeah.
A few minutes later. Oh, go ahead.
I'll explain to her that we're getting a steam carriage to take her to where we can help her. I will then, because it's probably going to be her next concern, go and talk to our friendly neighborhood household servants and ask if we can temporarily lodge her lard cart in their backyard for the moment until we can send someone around to pick it up.
Yeah, I don't think that they're gonna have. I don't think they'll have a hissy fit over that.
No.
Again, what type of monsters would they be?
Yeah.
I don't know. Rich people.
This is up to a question. If you guys are taking her back to the office,
yes, because it's the best place we've got.
research. The original thought was you guys would be doing research probably all day, but with this, mayhaps, would you still be doing it all day? Will they be able to maybe send a message to you? I think with what little bit you found, I'm not going to make you lose that if you get a few hours of research in. So, like, if they caught you midday, what do you two think?
Well, if this was like early in the morning, I was figuring that we would have gone to after we'd wrapped up with the last conversation. We would have started going to the library and just started working late into the night, and then they would have probably gone to get a nap and then catch her early in the morning.
Well, I would assume that the library has 7 hours.
Right. So we would have been working as late as we possibly could, and then probably gone to sleep. So
right.
We're probably just sleeping at this point, and they just have to come around to wake us up.
That would work too. Everybody good with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems fair.
Yep.
You guys get her in a steam coach, get her back to the offices, send messages out to rouse the other two. Probably good British tradition. You make that woman a cup of tea.
Yep. In there before
Maybe
I said
a little stronger than tea.
A little bit of brandy in it or something. It's fine. It's just, fun tea.
Tea. Good tea.
Just a little bit of blackberry brandy for, the head and
Take the
the
nip
health.
off.
So the other two of you get what does it say exactly? Like, oh fuck, get over here. What's the Victorian British version of oh fuck, get over here?
Yeah, basically that. That's a good
Yeah.
idea. Let's say that.
Please attend the
Things have
office.
gone tits up.
Convenient.
With
Convenient.
Caitlin.
Attend sooner.
For YouTube's language issues, bollocks. This is gone. I don't know the tits up. There you go.
Yeah, that works.
Bollocks, it went tits up. Get to the office. All right, Nigel, that's your note. What are you doing? That's someone who's big.
Are we getting any additional context for that, or just...
It just says bollocks, things went tits up.
Yeah,
Get to the office.
You don't need much context. Bad thing happened. Go to office now.
Well, if
There
we
you go.
know what we, if we're given other context and know what we need, then, I can bring stuff, but since I'm not given anything, I'll just have to head over. I'll bring my notes on what possibilities we did find.
Yeah. Good heavens, your presence is urgently requested. Please attend to the office if convenient. If not convenient, come anyways.
What's that from?
Sherlock Holmes.
Sorry,
Yes.
this one. If whoever influencer tries to do it to us for interfering, you should shoot them. However, now they want you to shoot things. I just want you to know that this is a complete 180.
I know, right?
This is the first time we've met vampires. I'm just saying. We're allowed to have different policies for different types of targets. Right. That just seems sensible.
Do we shoot vampires? Is that how that works?
If they're going to control their mind, we'll
You
try anything
stake
to
them
stop
through the
them.
heart.
So, mages and vampires we shoot. Got it.
August, you get the same note. Bollocks that went tits up.
He will grab his notebook, get dressed, not necessarily in that order, and head to the office.
Okay.
I was say that would be a challenge to get dressed with the notebook in hand.
But not
August
impossible.
is very practiced at it.
Challenge accepted.
So you guys have her resting quietly in either that parlor or in one of the back rooms, whichever you choose. That doesn't really matter much. And he doesn't take, it takes a bit because sending a note and knocking on doors and all that, they got to get dressed. But relatively, as soon as they can, those two show up. What are y'all doing?
Well, I assume you're going to catch us up on what happened.
Yes, I will be explaining to everybody what I explained to everyone else already. Weird pattern damage. Stroke overwriting? Bizarreness.
Do we get the full lay down on the dialogue?
Yes.
Well,
Make sure
bollocks.
that she's in an office by herself.
Okay. So now you two have a rundown of general dialogue and time frame of things. And Waymont's impressions of what he perceived the astral to be doing.
Indeed.
Well, bollocks, if there's particular avoidance with the name involved, that lends it to being a fae.
How much do you know about
Is that,
fae?
That they're
is
very
that better or worse than vampires?
Oh, they are... Well, as much as any of the old fairy tales will tell you, honestly. They have a particular importance with the names. There's the stories of changelings, abducting children, replacing them with Fey children in their place. And they're supposedly all different types as well.
Right.
Particularly those that are sanguine related. There's the Boban Sith, although I don't know if that's necessarily within the same pattern here.
Okay, so what you're saying is that you know an awful lot about Fae.
Well, I know some general ones, and then I have a couple of examples from what we had researched last night or yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So, going through the list of what we had researched, knowing that we're probably dealing with the Fae, what can I narrow down?
I think it's a red cap.
What on that, and I will give you an answer. But red caps definitely have an affection for blood and for violence. But there's actually, truthfully, many types. And you hadn't gotten very far into that line because you didn't have the new information to get you to focus on that line.
I was just kind of collating a list of anything that could potentially fit the symptoms here. Well,
Yep.
let's try to confirm here. Does anybody happen to have some cold forged iron?
Oh yeah, sure.
There's
Carry it around with me all the time.
the knees. There's I think you mentioned the Bale. Oh God, I can never pronounce Gaelic names.
Well, when
Did you
shit,
Baobhan? Did you mention that one?
Yeah, Boban Sith. A female, basically described as a female vampire, but
Yep. And those, like, I don't know that you would have necessarily, but you've got red caps, you've got those. There's a couple of other types. With a little more research, you might be able to maybe narrow that down.
well, we're at the office. The office has a small library, correct? So I believe that was on the 3rd floor.
Is it? It might be. Maybe there isn't. I just forgot.
I remember there being some amount of library there. I don't know how much. It's definitely going to be more limited, but given the nature of the organization, maybe there's stuff like that. Let me go back here.
Call it higher. 50-50 chance.
But anyway, back to my other question of, does anybody have any cold forged iron? Just something that's made with iron that wasn't heated. A pressed part. River, your gun should have some amount of cold forged iron parts in it.
or my hand axe, or
Oh no, the hand axe would have been heated.
Would be heated. And I took a look, but I don't know that any part of the gun would be cold forged iron.
I would think any pressed parts would be cold forged.
But at this
Basically,
point,
anything that wasn't cast.
so I was going to say, at this point, most of that stuff is cast. I will double check, but because you guys are at the point where they're mass producing some of it.
Well, I mean, most screws or bolts will have cold forged metal in them. Is there any sort of parts laying around here?
Screws, bolts, not sure.
Can I make a an engineering test to see if maybe I can spot something that would work?
Those forging operations used in manufacture of firearms performed on glowing hot metal. The gun's not going to have any cold. At this point in time, we're nails and stuff cold forged still. Oh. Because I would think nails over screws. Oh, nails, cold forged iron. Darn, having to think. So early forged nails are a type of wrought iron. So
Yeah, wrought iron is cold forged. It's just basically hammered out.
trying to
On,
find a date.
on heck, there should probably be, even aside from gun parts, there should be wrought iron parts around somewhere. If I can find something loose that we can get a piece off.
A
So
door
go ahead,
knocker.
give us a go. Okay, so fully machine made nails used since 1890s. So you should be able to find some that are cold forged.
Go down to the stables and get a. I'm gonna go down to the stables and get a horseshoe.
I mean, yeah, that would work. I don't know if there's a stable close by.
Or a door knocker.
Depending. Some of those are cast.
Yeah.
Come up with.
Oh,
But can I? It doesn't matter what it is, but can I make like an engineering test or something to find some cold forged iron?
I'll go to the stables and just get a farrier and get a horseshoe from them.
Yeah, it'll take you a little bit of time to go to someplace and come back, but you can absolutely do that, River. What'd you get, Brad?
Oh, I didn't know if I could. 1 second here. Let me. We'll do a field engineering because this won't be civil. That's an 11.
Yeah, why not? Like you find some nails and some other bits and baubles.
So just
Door.
yeah, like what it doesn't matter what it is, but if we can get something, I'm thinking just like put it on a string to basically make like a necklace, use it like a charm, and let's ask her if she can put it on.
Okay. She's looking at you quizzically, like, why do you want me to put these nails around my neck? But okay. And she starts to reach for it, and her hands start shaking. She tries to take it, and her hands start shaking worse. A few of you might have recognized this shortly before she started having seizures.
Whoa, hang on. Not good.
Yeah, so probably want to scope her while that's going on.
Yep. I'm gonna do that. Do that thing that you just said. That thing. Yep. Do that.
That thing, that thing that he said, the thing to do.
Right. I'll roll the dice. Hang on. Okay. 18.
Yeah, whatever it is that causes her pattern to become very angry is starting up again. It does not apparently want her to do that. It doesn't want her to speak of this, and it doesn't want her doing that.
Well, do we force the issue and put it on her?
Yes, frankly.
Who wants to do the honors?
Morgana will try and talk to her to keep her as calm as possible during the process, just to keep her focused on
Just
herself, rather than
close your eyes. We're going to give you a gift. It's a
Yes,
necklace.
yeah.
That's terrible. Okay, give me your roll on diplomacy again, maybe?
Yeah.
Seem to be good at that one. Let's try that.
Uh, 11 this time.
Okay. So you guys go to try to put it on her. You're not sure at first if she's actively trying to hit you or just going into a seizure and swinging at whatever. But I'm going to probably need some physical defenses and possibly some sort of grapple if you're going to get that on her.
Who's the burliest person in the group?
Waymont,
Nigel?
Waymont, you have your restraining spell, don't you?
Yes, I do. So I was trying not to use it, but okay. Right, I will cast Silver Chains, which is another name for bind, on her.
If it just restrains her, it should help.
So it's been a little bit, so Brad, talk me through how to cast the spell again.
Roll your spell casting. That will go against her spell defense. Assuming it hits, then the effect
Yes,
for that one, I believe, would be the strength rating for her to try and break out of it.
Okay. So my spell casting, I get 14.
Okay, that works.
And for the effect test, which I believe is rank plus what is the effect test?
That should be in the spell description.
If
I remember correctly, it's will plus your spellcasting rank.
Right.
You had your astral sight on. Can you keep your astral sight on while you're doing this, or do you lose your?
Yes, you can. You can maintain astral sight while casting a spell. Actually, that's one of the ways you can target a spell. If you can't see the target physically, but you can see them astrally, you can use that to target.
Will save again.
Make a will save again.
Yeah, because shit's
right.
going. You can see it, and it affects you. So.
Right. So I roll a 10 this time.
Okay. So much like before, you don't know what it is, but this is painful, almost to you, and we actually kind of yeah. So you have triggered stuff. What is your magic defense?
What's my magic defense?
Yeah, you're the one who's casting.
Yeah, my mystic defense is 11.
11. Cool. So that's 2 additional successes.
My God.
So let's see, that becomes damage and it moves it up. Right. Well, that could have been worse. And well, as well as on the damage. That's a 16.
Ouch.
As it looks like a grenade went off in your head.
Can I make my effect test now?
You can.
Okay.
Oh no,
So Brad,
you created bad things.
right? So Brad, you said it was willpower plus spellcasting rank.
I believe so. It should be in the spell description, but if I remember correctly, that's what it is.
Like I'm reading the spell description now because I just copy pasted it in my character sheet and it's not in there at all. It just says makes an effect test.
Yeah, let me look it up.
It'll be in the stuff at the top.
Should be will plus spell casting rank.
Right. Fine. So will is step 7 plus spellcasting rank.
Oh no, I'm sorry. It's actually will plus 4 for bind.
Will plus 4. Okay. That's step 11. And step 11 is D10 plus D8. Right. Sweet. Okay, that's 22. Our target number for breaking out of these chains is 22. Meanwhile,
Awesome.
Weymont is going to fall over with a nosebleed.
I was going to say, also, he probably needs to like that's probably a wound.
It very much is a wound, yes.
Okay, so Weymont has felt better, but she seems to be bound. And she seems to be definitely having another seizure. What are you all doing?
Well, let's get the thing on her before she shakes out of it. If nobody else is doing it, is putting it on, then I will.
Yes, Weymont is about 6 points from unconscious.
Okay.
River, we didn't need you to get a horseshoe if we found a nail.
Yeah, but I had gone to go get that before you found the nails.
That was all part of the same discussion.
She can you can still be there. It doesn't matter. You want
Oh.
to be in the
So at that point, then yeah, River will put the necklace of nails on her.
It doesn't really matter who does it, just as long as we put the thing on her.
And even though she seems to be bound, the seizure seems to be spiking much worse. Anybody have any medical?
I do have physician. I don't know that it's
Nope.
going to do me a whole lot, but... I got a 3.
No,
Oh, she's fine.
she's faking it. Obviously.
Harsh.
I mean, something's going on, but I don't know what. Maybe it's lupus.
That's lupus.
Never lupus.
Yeah, but I rolled a
Except
3,
that
so
twice.
that's why I say it's lupus.
Except that twice when it is.
Hysteria.
Stereo.
Hysteria makes sense.
Yeah.
That's like faking it. Hysteria. Her uterus has wandered off in her body, and that is causing these tremors. You should stand her over a sweet-smelling pot of incense and make her drink vile things to force her uterus to go back in place. Before you laugh, that was an actual thought process.
It was.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They did some really stupid things.
Damn that wandering uterus.
It
Wish
is
it wouldn't do it.
on hysteria. in college. So yeah, no. Hysteria, obviously.
Mm.
Freud ruined everything for women, by the way. Because there was a point before Freud where they thought it was because women were not having enough orgasms. And if women would get more orgasms, this is where some stuff came from, right? That then they had the cookies. Freud comes in and basically says that, you know, women are evil and vile and you should avoid them and don't give them any affection and that will stop. He basically would be reverse of that. Freud ruined everything. Woman hating
Freud
bad.
ruined most things.
He did.
Yeah.
Nobody should like Freud. All right. So, what are you guys doing as she is bound and convulsing and starting to like eyes rolled back?
Down on one knee, hands on my head, nose bleeding. Yep, that's about it. What do you guys
That's a
got?
bit better than you.
Maybe
Is
now would
our
be
necklace
a good.
Well, I mean, with the thing on, does it seem like this is dissipating? I'm mostly just observing at this point to see if this stuff will knock it off.
Oh no, it got much worse when you put it on.
Well, yeah, but it might get worse before it gets better.
So, how many ranks do you have in this show? Because I don't know that you're seeing anything anymore unless you turn it back on. If weakened position.
It
I
ranks
mean,
in what?
When he's in a weakened position, I don't know if he wants to turn his astral back on to see what's going on that. Because I figure he only has what 2-3 ranks in it.
yeah, well, Waymont's not seeing anything right now.
Yeah. So
Stars.
on the outside, I'm not even going to make you roll for the. She seems to be worse. Very obviously, much worse.
Morgana's going to take the necklace off her.
She seems to settle a bit when you take the necklace off, but she does not look good, and she is not regaining consciousness like she did the other couple of seizures.
Mayhaps it's time to call in your college professors.
Is it late enough they're out of bed?
Waymont, still down on one knee, still holding on his head, and still dripping vociferously from his nose, looks up at you and says, "What?"
And Waymont wants to know what crack you're smoking.
Oh, you're fine. Call the magic people.
I'm not fine. Ugh, feels like something went off in my head.
All the
Brad?
more reason to call your magic people.
Give me a
Brad,
minute.
do a descriptions check.
What? Say that again?
Check.
You're just muffled for me.
Toughness check.
I still couldn't make that out.
It's some sort of
Oh,
check.
physician. Okay.
Right.
Okay, that one rolled up. Hang on, that one was cocked. 14.
You're in really bad shape. Like really, really shape.
Well,
Like she might be in a coma at this point. You are really not sure. Like she stopped struggling, but she doesn't seem to be responding to anything. Like her eyes aren't opening. She's not responding to you guys at all at this point. Like you're not really, you know.
all right. Well, I'll do the astral sight thing and see if I spot anything else with her in this state. Um, let's go ahead and throw karma on it. Hang on, that one didn't land right. That's a 14.
So, because I'm not sure I know a more technical. What does the pattern look like when they're dying?
Not good.
I mean, it would really just kind of look like it's fading.
So it looks like it's fading, and it looks like those weird, overwritten, smudgy parts have kind of expanded, but the entire thing's fading. And what was the nostril?
It's,
What did
sorry, you were still just garbled for me.
Sure, tell me.
Astral was 14.
The reason you're really kind of seeing this at this point is that compared to her pattern, these are more solid, more stronger looking, less like tendril that was hidden before, that kind of trails off away.
Can I tell where it's going?
Even the general direction, but
Yeah, just that's what I'm looking for. It's just where is it headed?
say from where you guys are, it would be so that would be so west, away from the river.
Um, Weymont, you took that healing spell, correct? Any chance we can get him on his feet well enough to try that?
Weymont will take a handkerchief out and wipe his nose with it.
Yeah, we'll see. I do have aspirin. I don't know that that's going to help you a whole lot, but it might help clear your head a bit.
Well, I have a wound, so I'm down one on basically all my checks right now. But I'll give it a shot.
Aspirin does remove wound penalties.
I'll take that aspirin.
I will give you an aspirin.
That's its game effect. We have it started.
Really, how
Right.
quick does it take effect? I'm curious. Is it considered in-game and instant?
I don't think we had gotten that deep on it. I'd have to look back.
I put it down to alchemy. A dose of aspirin eliminates 1 point of wound penalty for 8 hours.
Like, I'm not super sure this will work anyway, because like it only really affects physical wounds, I think. This does not look like that, but I can give it a shot.
I'm hoping maybe something will stabilize her at least.
I need to go open up the book and read what heal does specifically.
I
It's
can
in
tell
that.
you because
Yeah, it's going to
copy pasted.
it's going to restore hit points.
Okay.
Yeah, as long as they have at least 1 point in of their death rating remaining, you can, restore hit points. You can, you know, Determine how many damage is restored, and for every 2 successes, you can heal a wound.
Ooh, Alright.
Ooh.
fancy.
So, okay, I will down some aspirin, and I will give it my best shot.
All right, what's your best shot?
You guys better be treating me at dinner for this or something. Jeez. Right. Okay.
Maybe spend some of those APs and get some durability.
What are you
Ducks
saying?
and covers. Ducks and covers.
Right, so
Ooh, that is not bad. Right. So for the spellcasting check, I got 22.
Nice.
that is versus hers. That's like two raises. Technically, it's like 2.5 raises, but you know.
I think it still only counts as 2. I don't know if that does anything though. It's the effect test you want to roll up on.
Well, but that will give you additional bonus dice on the effect.
Oh, on the effect, so that increases your
So
thingamajig rank.
Yep. Plus
Right.
1 step for each success.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is this? Is it will plus 4 again? You tell me, Brad. I don't know why, but I've not got that number.
Heal is will plus rank.
Will plus rank. Okay. Will plus spellcasting rank.
Yes.
Correct. And then you'll
Right,
get an
oh.
additional, what, plus 2
2.
if it's 2 successes?
Yes, that's 7 plus spellcasting rank, which I should really raise up with all that freaking MP I've got, but no. 3, 7 plus 3, that's 10, plus 2, that's 12.
I mean,
2d10, alright. 2d10. This could be solid. It could be. Or it could be terrible. It's solid!
Hey,
woohoo!
you know the brain on this is 6.
I'm aware of that. I'm probably
Okay.
gonna fall unconscious.
Okay, I'm just double checking. All right. So what did you get?
Right, so that's... I got 27.
That's very nice.
So I'm gonna cast that spell, presumably bleed from my nose again, and fall backwards unconscious.
Waymont down. Waymont down.
Morgana will feed Weymont one of the 2 healing potions she carries. Which will get rid of his wound and give him a recovery test with plus 8 steps.
Hooray!
That counts for dinner.
I'll take it. Right, plus 8 steps, so that's 5 plus 8, so that's 13. D12 plus D10.
While he
Actually, hang on. Let me do a quick physician test. I'll see if I can help with. If I roll high enough to help with this, then you get to add my physician rank, which is 1, but every little bit helps. Let's see if I can do anything with this. Nope. I'm just gonna say nope. It wasn't that much, but if it could help.
I don't know, hysteria? Right.
Waymont's uterus has also wandered off on him.
You beat me to it, Brad. Thank you.
This is actually pretty good though, because the 12 rolled up. So 9, 8, 21, 24. 24 HP back. I am now okay. Weymont will get up and dab at his nose with a handkerchief again. What happened?
You cast your spell, you fell over. I fed you a healing potion.
Oh, thank you.
No problem.
So anyway, did that stabilize her at least?
So, sort of, maybe, kind of. Her pattern seems to get better. Take time and watch her over the next few minutes. So you're gonna have to, like, break, so you don't drain too badly. Peek back in, in a few minutes. It's slowly getting weaker again. So, if nothing else, it bought you time. But whatever it is that is connected has decided that she's got to go.
I mean, is there any way we can cut the connection?
That's some really good questions, and you might consider contacting that college, like they mentioned.
Sure, I'm gonna go and do that.
Don't the old
Weymont,
stories say a ring of salt can repel certain things?
sure, put a
I
ring of salt
don't
around her. It can't hurt.
think that's what we thought about the iron.
Well, the iron does more damage. I was hoping it might do a repel, but like I said, I'm not really too familiar with this. You know, it's not like there's a lot of practical experience. I'm remembering old fairy tales.
Maybe turn all her clothes inside out. No, that probably won't help.
All right. You're going to take a 10-minute break, get drinks, all that stuff, and then you guys think about what you want to do, and we'll come and get to doing it.
Yep.
That sounds fine. But yeah, so that didn't go as planned.
No, really?
Well, hey, it at least confirms that, yeah, what we're dealing with doesn't like cold iron, which still points to a fae.
Mm-hmm.
So we've at least got some idea of what we're handling.
Yay,
That's great.
science.
So what we'll do is we'll just go and buy all the pots and pans we can and find the fae and throw them at it.
Well, what we need to do is put some of the, when we're going after this thing, we need to get our own talismans to prevent against this sort of thing.
We could go and talk to the Grail Knights, see if they've got any suggestions as to how to deal with it.
Yeah, I was thinking about that
That might be a
too.
good plan.
Brad, can I ask you for a favour?
What you need?
After this session is finished today, could you help me spend some of this extremely lots of AP I've got?
Yeah, we can go over stuff, that's fine. Yeah, you're probably going to want to, rank up.
Possibly twice I managed it.
But yeah, I imagine this is pretty much how these things would actually go in character, trying to figure all this stuff out. Now there's all this new magic crap in the world. How does it work? Let's try some of these old things.
It's fair.
I think wisdom for me would be purchasing that dispel skill you were talking about.
Yeah, it is extremely useful to have it as a skill. Just like always on hand. Yeah, you were used to playing Urton Classic with me, and for that it was a spell. And in fact, in Urton Classic, it was only wizards that got a general dispel magic. Everybody else were able to only dispel their specific types of magic.
Yeah, like illusions or whatever.
Yeah, illusion, elementalism, that sort of thing. Yeah, wizards can just dispel anything. But now anybody can dispel anything. You know, assuming they have the skill.
Yeah, it's kind of funny that it wasn't in the list for wizard. You know,
It is in the list for wizard.
is it? Like I
Uh,
didn't see
Yeah,
it.
it's in the
Oh, you
list.
mean in the skills for mage?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
third skill in the shirt core skills.
It's definitely there because we are both mages. It's just I am a specialist type of mage, but that really only affects my lodge and the flavor of the spells I learn. The skills and everything are all the same.
Mm-hmm.
I think Galvanics get access to firearms rather than melee weapons, but there's not a lot of big differences.
What was that?
River only pays attention when there's guns mentioned.
Well, I just sat back down and got my headphones on.
No. I figured you were just away, but it's just funny. Guns mentioned River, huh?
Say again.
My spidey sense is tingling.
I mean, I need to take craft firearm so I can take forge firearm.
Where are you going to forge a firearm? Where are you going to forge a firearm? Like, do you have a forge?
I'll work with a blacksmith or a gunsmith.
Sonny, you are all cold. Yeah, I know. You went outside to potty, huh? Good boy. Yeah, you're climbing on me so I can get you warm, huh? I swear sometimes this dog goes outside only so he gets cold, so I'll give him a hug.
Yep.
Which I'll hug him anyway. He doesn't have to push to do that, but he just associates, oh, if I'm cold, then he'll hug me.
That's learned behavior, Brad. That's what that is.
Wait,
Our
don't
cats
potty.
do this similar. Well, one of ours does anyway.
Wait, don't potty.
Oh, a bunch of my friends do the same with me. They'll go get cold and then cuddle up to the furnace. Okay, at what levels do you get the bulleted abilities in your discipline?
5th.
Oh, like they. Yeah, they just the special abilities. Yeah, you start getting those at rank 5.
Yeah, there's a set for journeyman, a set for warden, a set for master, all of which are a little ways down the line for all of us. But
And this is one where you have to buy durability and it's equal to your toughness.
yeah, durability you can get from professional rank 2, And it's toughness and toughness +1 essentially to your death rating.
Yeah, here I will copy the information for durability. 1 second. There you go. Sonny, did you literally just go out and stick your nose in the snow? What?
Maybe.
He comes in and his nose is all white. Why are you putting your nose in the snow? Why are you putting your nose in the snow, you goofy dog? You're just trying to get cold, so I'll hug you. I'll hug you anyway. You don't have to go outside. Go get one of your blankets. You got like 15 of them over there. There. Oh, you're goofy. You're goofy. So what do we want to try next when we get going here?
Well, I'm going to phone the college and see if they have any ideas.
I'm presuming Nigel hasn't mentioned the traces he spotted coming off her aura.
No, I have not yet. It's actually been very convenient having Weymont as a mage, so I don't have to give it away. I can keep this going.
Yeah, it's not going to last long.
I know. And I was fully prepared that, yeah, that would come about as a reveal at some point.
It seems like all you guys or never left, whichever.
I was hoping it would happen at just a suitably dramatic moment.
Yes.
I mean, this counts.
This is dramatic. So fair.
This isn't dramatic. This is a low point scene where we're still figuring out what the hell's going on. It needs to be like in the middle of combat or something.
This is combat. You just don't realize it. Some actual combat going on.
Not actively.
Well, get poor Weymont. It was. And so
like combat to me.
Well, you were the one who was messing with it. So who do you think it's going to lash out at?
Well, of course.
I mean, River didn't shoot it. It didn't lash out at River. You, on the other hand, you play with fire. So have you guys, I wasn't really listening. Have you guys decided what you wanted to do?
I'm all for going and talking to the Grail Knights. Thank you very much. Because I have no idea.
Yeah.
Well, Waymont, you said you wanted to call your college.
Yeah, that's right. I kind of need to.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, before we do anything, why don't you go ahead and make that call? I'm going to take a few minutes since we were able to track down some nails and stuff. Fashion some talismans for all of us to put on. Just a nail tied to a string around our necks. Tuck it under your clothes or whatever. Just something to help ward this off.
Makes sense.
And surely very fashionable.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said, you can tuck it under a clothes or put it in a pocket or whatever. But just have it on you.
Go into the room after having hid the talisman on my person, and just look at Caitlin and go, "All right, yeah, Wanker, come find me. Leave her alone. Come find me. Try to take me. Bet you can't."
Right, time to call the college.
All right. So you
Is
call. We'll see.
Anyone
It's
up?
it's closer to 7 a.m. by now, right?
Right.
Somebody's up there at this point. So we'll say you reach somebody. It may be lowest peon on the floor, but you reach somebody who could then wake up important.
Yes, I need you to go and wake up someone important.
Well, who? What is this about?
Do you know anything about the Fae?
Grandma used to tell me stories, but I don't suppose you're calling about my grandma's stories at this hour.
No, no, I am not.
See if there's anybody in specific that might know about the Fae. knowledge of his own, basically, job, school. We'll see what he does. Oh, that's not bad. He got 15. Have you heard of Professor Clyde?
Vaguely, I
It's
never said.
goes by his first name, which none of the other professors do. But have you heard of him?
I mean, vaguely. I don't think I took any of his classes.
Let me see if I can look him up for you. Hold on.
Okay.
It takes a few minutes, and eventually, he sounds young, especially for professor. Yes. Good
Uh,
morning, Professor Clyde Smith. How can I help you?
good morning, Professor Smith.
Clyde.
My name's Clyde. My name's Weymont. Weymont Cromwell. I was a student at the college a little while ago. I've run into some sort of magical problem, and I was wondering if you might be able to help.
Were you in my class? I don't remember that name.
No, I don't think I wasn't. I didn't take your classes. I was in a slightly different class. But the reason I'm talking to you is because it's to do with the Fae.
Oh, they're interesting.
Yeah.
Dangerous way, but very interesting.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah. Super dangerous. I get that. Listen, we have a lady here who's been affected by the Fae. Her pattern is kind of intertwined with some kind of I don't know. It's like almost like tendrils. She's fading fast. I need you to tell me what to do.
what type of tendrils? Can you explain them? Can you describe them?
Waymont will give a description of the tendrils he saw.
So are they just in the pattern? Do they lead from the pattern?
Yes, they lead from the pattern due west, I think.
Oh, you could follow it.
Yes, we could follow it, but she's gonna die.
Oh, well, that's not good. No, that's not good at all. Oh goodness. Have you tried cold iron?
Yes, that didn't. That wasn't a good idea. That caused her to go into a seizure. Clearly, the creature, whatever it was trying to choke the life out of her, essentially. But it seems to have decided that she no longer needs to live, so we need to figure out how to get it out of her.
You have gotten it angry at you through her, but angry at you. So cold iron seems to make it more angry in that might kill somebody. And you don't want to see if you can find the Fae itself, which, I mean, I kind of understand that. It might try to kill you. It sounds like it probably would try to kill you.
This isn't really about us at the moment. We'll probably find it eventually, or it'll find us, or something. Right now, my only concern is making sure
Well,
we don't kill this woman.
stop killing her because it would be dead, but it might kill her before you could get to it. So that doesn't work very well. Ooh. Let's see. Oh, he did really well on that. Have you tried a salt circle? Ooh, or have you tried dispelling? Salt circle dispelling maybe at the same time?
Salt
Rich
circle and
dispelling. Ritual dispelling using salt as part of the ritual. Ooh, I like this idea. Have you considered that?
no, actually. Hang on, let me write some things down. So you want us to do a circle of salt and a dispelling ritual while
Spelling. Yeah.
doing. Yeah, right. Okay. Oh, we'll tap the pencil on the pad. Okay, right. I
Right.
will get right on that.
Yes. To break its hold on her. Yes.
Right. Okay.
Where-
Thank you very much, Clyde.
You have to let me know if it worked,
I will do. I'll call you back.
because this is going to become a case study for one of my classes. So you're
Oh,
going to tell me everything about this.
Right, yes,
Do you
of course.
actual? This is just as amazing. I would love to hear about all of this. You probably don't have time now, though. No.
No, not at the moment, but I will phone you back, and don't worry, I'll give you some details if we'd run at the fair, whatnot, and assuming we're not dead. Right.
Well, try not to be dead.
I'll do my best. All right. I'll see you. Well, talk to you later. And I will hang up. And I will say, Brad, tell me how I can buy that freaking skill.
Nigel,
You're gonna have to
supposedly.
go up rank.
Oh.
Unless we assume that you had time to go up.
As much time as everyone else.
So, I mean, in theory you could have, and then we could just figure out the rest of it later.
But, well, that's a
That's
GM call, I think.
Yeah. As I say, assuming Andy's fine with that.
Do I like something? Sure, why not? One of these
Okay.
days, I'm a mean GM. I just haven't had.
Professor Clyde gave you the necessary knowledge to be like, Eureka, I got it. I understand.
Yes.
Ding
Eureka.
ding.
All right. Right, you might want to go with somebody else for a minute because I'm going to have Brad help me out with this.
So, what is everybody else doing?
Taunting the spirit thing.
Yes, the Fae or whatever. I love that River's doing that. I don't know that it's particularly do anything, but I love that she's doing it. It's so a River thing to do.
Right. Just focus on this skill for now. Get to my books go. Curses. Right. Brad, do you have the book there? Because mine's gone walkies.
Yes, I do. What are you looking for?
Just give me the different things about the skill, like the strain, the karma, all that kind of thing.
I just put it in the chat.
Oh, cool. Thank you. Right. So I can buy it around. Do you think I should put some more into it, like higher ranks?
Well, you would have had to use it in order to tag it to get it at a higher rank.
Okay. Well, I'll just keep it 1 then for now.
I mean,
Right.
after you use it, you'll definitely be able to tag it. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Right.
You'll be able to buy it straight up again. So for when you retry it after failing, it'll be great.
Right. So okay. I'll just I'll just have the dispel for now. I'll sort out the rest later with you, Brad. But for the sake of brevity,
Yeah,
let's.
we'll assume that you went up rank at some point, and yeah, we'll figure out the rest of it.
Right. Okay, so I'll head on into where the woman is. Right. Everyone. Does anyone have salt?
And they got a little like kitchenette, I think, for the office. There's probably some in there.
All right. Here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to create a ritual salt circle, and we're going to try and dispel it using the circle as part of the ritual.
Alrighty. Let's see if we can find some salt.
And our GM seems to have ran away.
Oh, Andy dropped.
Oh,
We'll give her a minute to rejoin.
It's the salt. We chased off the fairy.
But
Ruh-roh.
I'm still here.
Salt also repels GMs.
Who knew?
Apparently.
Gonna say, Brad, is it me or you who now takes over? I'm not sure how this works in precedence.
Sorry, I missed that. Say again.
Gonna say, is it me or you who now takes over running the game? Is it faster seniority or status within or ascending status within the 1879 rating frame?
I mean, I don't want to set the precedent where if anybody's game drops that the line developer comes in and takes over. Because that would put a lot of demands on my time.
Right.
There she is.
Andy's back. Everyone look busy.
Okay, everyone look busy. Yes. So,
I am busy. You just can't see me.
Yeah.
that's true.
It's true.
I can't see you at all, or Brad, or River. I can't see any of you.
We're all just disembodied voices. You're used to hearing those.
Ooh, scary ghost.
That. Okay, so we were at
Sorry.
the school, and you guys were figuring out some logistics of character sheets. How's that going?
We got that sorted, so we're looking for salt and gonna try and do the thing.
We're gonna try and do a dispel.
A salty dispel.
Quite so.
The power of salt compels you.
Now let's not bring that guy into this. He'll just overcharge us. And Morgana will pay without noticing.
I just gotta get it up in there a little bit. Sorry, trying to get wood on the fire. Storm's getting fun. Storm's getting fun. And of course, the log won't fit in the thing. All right, so I'm going to say you guys can find salt pretty easily because most would have. I mean, it's enough for what you're doing.
Yeah, I think you dropped when I said that the office had like a little kitchenette for preparing stuff, so I'm guessing there's probably some there.
Yes. So you should be good.
Sweet. Right. It's time for a ritual.
All right. Time for your ritual.
Yep.
So, tell me what you came up with. What's it look like?
Draw a ritual ring of salt around the around the woman.
Okay.
And then it's going to involve a lot of chanting Probably from notes that Weymont has hastily scribbled out. And essentially, we're basically going to be throwing salt on her while this happens. It's a very salty dispel.
It is a salty as well. So,
Do you want
roll
me to
your dispel.
I will do this thing. I will roll my I'm
Do
gonna
it.
throw karma on this. I'm gonna throw karma right onto this because I know that it's
Is
gonna
it
fail.
a spell you can karma? I bet you it is.
I love that Barry's a seasoned spellcaster.
It's a core skill, so yes, you can karma it.
Okay, that is not bad so far.
What, like so far?
21.
Nice.
That's pretty good.
It is pretty
So,
good. It's all thanks
anybody
to that karma die.
anybody going to I don't know, astrally see or physicians see if she's improving any?
Well, physician, yeah, we're gonna keep an eye on her here as stuff goes on, but I don't know if we're gonna get any immediate effects from this.
Well, even if she wakes up, try not to
So,
pepper her with
I
questions.
have a silly question that kind of links to something that River mentioned in the text. What if right after you do the dispel, you put the iron necklace on her?
Well, let's see if she recovers first before we aggravate it any further. But yeah, I was thinking that too. If we can confirm the thing is off, then yeah, we'll want to repel it.
So that's going to take somebody astraling. Anybody going to astrally?
I mean, I can do it anyway. I probably would, because honestly, it's me doing the dispel and I need to see that it's actually worked.
Yep.
That's what I'm looking for. So
I
do me
figured. And
You know?
I'll look for myself.
Okay.
In secret.
Yeah.
In secret. He's pretending to physician while he's actually astral. It's all good.
I got 11 on the roll, so you know.
Okay.
And I got a double roll up, so I got a 21 on Astral Sight.
So it has seems to have, at least for the moment, if not for you're not sure how long, broken that tether that was heading west. Like it's snapped and retreated. Her pattern is not nearly as bad as it had been, and it seems more stable, but it seems to be not in great shape. Like whatever this has happened has damaged it. But she definitely, the tendril that was attached is not attached at the moment, and it isn't actively growing weaker.
Okay, so she's no longer looking like she's being drained at the moment.
Yep.
Okay, I will try getting our cold iron close to her, and as long as there's no negative reaction, then I'll go ahead and put the talisman, I guess is what we're calling the nail on a string, on her, around her neck.
Okay. It seems to not create a reaction, so that's good.
Yay! Ooh.
Good.
Okay, she looks to at least be stable, as far as I can tell. Do we maybe want to call your professor back and
I'll call him back and let him know how it went.
see what?
He asked for that anyway. But yeah, it looks like at least she's not being drained anymore.
And I think we've got the immediate problem at least taken care of. Yeah, let's see if we can consult with an expert on the subject. Let him know the other symptoms we've had, that this seems to be blood related, and there seemed to have been darkness or electrical manipulation.
Right. Okay, I'll get back on the phone to the professor. He's probably waiting to see how that went.
If he's available, he can even come down here.
Yeah, I will say when you call, he answers the phone. Like whoever usually answers the phone has been shooed away, and he's like, and if it's not you, he's like, go away, and hangs up.
All right, that Professor Clade. Thank you. That snapped the link. Our pattern still isn't in great shape,
Did she die?
but
No, she didn't die.
no, she didn't die. But
This is
she's
awesome.
she's not in a good way. But no, she's no longer being drained by whatever it was. Hang on. I can perhaps explain a little bit more now that we've got time about what we've seen from this thing, and I will go ahead and explain about all the various and sundry stuff we know, basically.
And he's
Ma-
very intent on listening. And he starts kind of hemming and and what about, and oh no, that definitely sounds like, and have you considered? And so definitely they're referring to it as a she.
Yes.
Anger. Let's see. Blood, anger, she, fae. Oh. When you say that they're angry people, what type of angry are we talking about?
Just generally disagreeable.
Nothing specific like towards men.
You do you mean some the people who were dead. Actually,
Or
that's a point. The people who were attacked, were they all women?
No, but the people who were attacked, they were all disliked, seemingly disliked, where we have an idea who the perpetrator was.
So it's just that they were all
there were
disliked.
several that were like that a womanizer or someone who is mean to women. There were several. It wasn't all of them, but there were several.
So there were
And
several who were like.
weirdly, so like the first one, she was cheating on him, right? Then there were several where the guy was a womanizer or he beat his wife or something like that.
Okay.
So it wasn't all of them, but there was definitely some of that. But all of them were definitely disagreeable types.
So I will explain this to the guy then.
Huh. Hmm. So I don't know how the electricity has to do with it. I know that the Fae can affect things like lighting if they don't want to be seen and they want it dark. So I mean that's possibility. But that the licking of the blood and the missing blood sounds a lot like, and again I'm not going to pronounce it, the Bevan she. They're usually women. They usually go after men who mistreated women, but there's a definite revenge theme with them.
Yes.
Um, it's feasible. Understand this is still very all new, so it's feasible that whereas it might prefer a certain type of revenge in general is enough.
Hmm.
It's always been an interesting thing, like why drink the blood? What does the blood have to do with it? Do they need to drink the blood to feed? They do. Can they only feed off of blood that's achieved from revenge? To be honest, I don't think we have answers to that yet.
Yeah.
But worrisome for me is usually, even if they're helping just to spike that need for the revenge, which is what it sounds like maybe is happening from what you're telling me, that maybe
Yes.
driving the revenge. If if she was involved in this last death that you were investigating, why hasn't it moved on? I mean, it's achieved the revenge, right?
Right.
The woman is assumably gone.
Oh, she's dead.
So
Yes.
why is it holding on to her instead of moving on to someone else to achieve a revenge?
I don't know.
If you've broken its hold, if it really wants her, it's going to try to come after her. Or if it's done with her because your interference or whatever, typically, I mean, from what you said, like the one in prison and stuff, it lets them go. They're might be altered by the experience, but it let them go. I think my
Right.
concern would be is why not let this one go? What is it that this one has or is doing that's worth trying to hold on to?
Don't know
I
offhand.
mean, it's very curious. And she's in no she's not able to tell you, right? I mean, even
Not really. Yeah. I suppose she was. She went all around the town, and she basically sold lard to different places. So she went all around the town. She was quite useful for disposing of the bodies.
you're not oh, you're not you. You you just mean like putting the bodies in different places, right?
Yes. Yes.
Were all the bodies taken and moved?
The last one wasn't, certainly. The old lady.
The old lady was, none of the other ones were.
Yeah, actually, that's true. None of the other bodies were moved. Right, so I meant that.
Maybe it's evolving and wanting to get less. Maybe
Possibly.
if it were me in your shoes, and you can have someone, I mean, look after her in her condition. I think I'd go and have a look around in her home
In her home. Right.
because
That
there
makes
has to
sense.
be some reason why it wants her specifically, and if she can't tell us, maybe the place she spends most of her time is maybe something there.
Right. I think that's a good next step. I'll keep you informed.
Do you have someone who can watch her?
Yes, yes. We're at our offices just
Right.
now, so there's
I was gonna
several.
say I would watch her.
Oh, if you don't mind coming down, I didn't know if you'd be busy or not.
Oh, I will cancel classes for this. Do you realize how rare it is to have anyone who has an actual confirmable dealing that can have a discussion about it possibly with the Fae?
Well, I can't say I've ever seen any myself.
Exactly.
Right. Well, I'll give you our office address then, and you can come down and
Uh,
have a look yourself.
Splendid. I will be there once he gets the address. We can give you a time frame, probably what 20-30 minutes by Steam Coach,
Right. Okay.
and he will be right over.
Right. I'll head back in then. Well, everyone, the professor's coming down himself. He'll watch over her. He says that a good next step would be to, well, go and investigate her house. Because there must be some reason the Fae's remaining attached to her. That makes sense.
Yes, that makes a lot of sense.
Right.
So he'll show up, and he's a mixture of super excited to be able to actually research and look at something specifically in a field that he's very interested in, and trying to be polite because this is obviously a life and death, serious, not woohoo, I get to do research I've always wanted to research moment.
Yeah.
He is very young for what you would think of as a professor. He is an elf. Um, he's got his eyes are a little odd. They're less brown and more amber, almost an orangey yellow color, which are a little unsettling. His hair is a fairly nice, just kind of dark brown. Otherwise, he's kind of a plain looking elf. He's on the thinner side. He's got a little bit more of a healthy tan than maybe what you might consider elf like, but being an elf really doesn't, have much of an effect on that.
It doesn't prohibit you from getting a tan.
Right. But the only thing that's really kind of unusual and striking is his eyes. And they're very bright, very alert, very inquisitive, and just a very unusual shade. But he's quite happy to look after her. He does kind of look around for a moment. He's like, I mean, the words are pretty good, but I don't know if they're very good specifically for Fae. You don't mind, do you?
No, not at all. We weren't
And he
really.
just starts like grabbing stuff out of a briefcase that looks a lot like things like sage and salts and stuff like that, and he just starts kind of going around all the windows and the doors. Can I do the other floors?
Are we allowed in the other floors? I don't
You guys have never asked, really.
know.
Well, if not,
Uh,
and he'll kind of do like the doorways that would lead to the upstairs.
I think it shouldn't be a problem except for Mr. Evans' apartment.
All right, then, and if someone will show him which one that is, he'll just do everything and he'll just do the outside of that doorway.
Yeah, that's fine.
But and you'll notice that he's leaving things like little metal flakes, which Brad will have zero, and most of you will probably have a very easy time figuring out are cold iron.
Mhm.
That he's leaving with this salt and white sage while he's doing what to most of you looks like gobbledygook, is what it probably looks like. But after that, he settles in with her and seems to be doing some astral sight type of. I mean, you can't tell. He kind of looks like he's meditating a bit. You'll notice then that she starts to, her color improves and things like that. If you were watching astrally, he's doing some sort of healing spells at her. And probably an astral sight, that type of stuff. Nothing bad. So off you guys go. He seems pretty settled in.
Unless he can make any other recommendations for us before we go in to protect
You could try
ourselves.
asking him questions
Yeah,
and see
I
if he
will
has
ask him
questions.
if he recommends anything else for us before we go into the area. I'll point out the nails we found if he recommends anything better than that.
Let's see. Oh.
Morgana will have searched Kate for keys and that sort of thing.
Yeah, you'll find what looks like a house key.
Excellent.
Probably there's like a key to the wagon as well, or her. Yeah. And there's a third key that's a smaller key maybe to a box or
Let's
something.
let's bring all her keys just in case.
He kind of goes, well, I don't have. I didn't know that there were so many of you. He reaches into a pocket and he pulls out this, what looks like an amulet. Any of you particularly Catholic?
Not as such.
Do you believe enough?
Is there anyone only
He's just like,
slightly
"You believe
Catholic?
enough." It's like being a little pregnant. You can be a little Catholic. It's fine. Just have enough belief. Anyone? Okay, and he puts the little amulet back in his pocket, and he thinks, and he goes back to that briefcase, and he pulls out this vial. In case of emergency, drink this, and he'll hand it to Weymont.
What is it?
Catholicism in a
Well,
bottle.
I'm trying to see if I can put a spell in a bottle. It's a ward in a bottle, I hope. I mean, I'm
Ward in
pretty
a
sure.
bottle.
I think. Although, I mean, you might try pouring it on yourself rather than drinking it. But let me know which way works better. Well, actually, you can only try it once. You only have one. Let me know how it works. If it works.
Okay. Women will pocket the bottle.
That makes you feel so sure, doesn't it? Just reassured there.
Yeah.
It is an age of it is literally an age of trying things.
Oh no, I understand.
Pretty sure it'll work. I hope.
Okay.
And with that, he goes back to whatever he's looking at on the still unconscious woman.
All right. Well, we'll probably need to leave notes for Ms. Price and Mr. Evans in case they happen to come back and want to know why this strange man is seasoning the building.
Seems a sensible plan.
And I think after that, yeah, let's head out.
All right.
So
You
we
guys
go.
It doesn't take long. I'm sure you guys take a steam coach or something, and you get to the building. You've been at this building before. You know it's actually warded. What are you guys gonna do?
Carefully unlock the front door.
Let me take point.
I'll open the door. You step in.
Yep, I'll have medium revolver out and ready.
All right, you're gonna need a will save to step in. You're wearing an iron charm, aren't you?
Yep.
You have to have a will save to step in. And it is set at 15. You think it wants you to be bringing cold iron in here? You would be wrong. It does not.
You better make that roll.
29.
29 lets you step in.
Did you say 39?
29.
49 on a willpower. What? How many times did you roll?
29. 2 9.
2
3
9.
roll, 2 roll ups and then a 5.
Right.
So when you first get a look on the inside, it's fairly dark. It's a fairly open-esque space. It smells. It smells like someone is rendering, lard in here, and some strong earth smells with it. There's a big stove, lots of jars, lots of other kitchen accoutrement for like pouring and cleaning up spills. There's a bed, there's a chest, there's a cupboard or two, there's a chair, a table, there's a table in the kitchen for like a workspace table. There's a few shelves with, knickknacks and a couple of books. Oops, next.
Oh, little Fey one. Come out, wherever you are. I told you to come find me.
Morgana will draw her sword and attempt to follow River in to back her up,
All right.
which will be drawn from her umbrella. So, it's pretty cool. I only got a 9 on my willpower test, though.
Yeah, it feels like that nail is burning you, and you want to take it off, or you don't want to go in. Now, that being said, you can just back away and try again.
Morgana
you're
will back away and
want to take it off, or
yeah.
so you're going to back away for a minute.
Yeah, back away for a moment and then try again. So let me know when I can try again.
All right. Who wants to?
I'll try and enter the premises.
Okay.
Would you like me to make this willpower check?
Well, if you actually want in, yes.
I mean, I do actually want in, so yeah, I'd be happy to try. However, getting 15 on a D12 seems unlikely.
Maybe.
I don't know. Can you put karma on a willpower check?
No.
You can when
Not
you
unless
rank up sufficiently high, but yeah, not at this point.
Okay.
Come on, roll that.
Not getting in today.
Augie, actually on a 3, you really want to take that cold iron off. You really, really do. Make
Also
a second.
that.
Make a second will save, Augie.
Well, it wasn't a 1, 7.
Right. You can refrain from taking it off, but you really feel like you should just take that off. How did Weymont do?
Mm-hmm.
8.
You have the same urge of the whole, but you can just take a step back and try again.
Right.
Who else? Where are we at? I think we're at Nigel.
Yeah, and I got an 8, so same thing.
Not as bad as the 3. The 3's much worse. All right. Morgana, try again. This time you're at a 10 though.
All right. Sod
Okay.
this. I'm gonna take out some salt, throw it at the door, and try and dispel whatever's on it.
Oh, that's a good idea. Are you actually doing dispel?
Yes.
Turns out that works on like wards thing.
So yeah, 2d6 for that. So I will roll it. 15.
Nice. Weymont really feels like everyone should hurry up while he has it dispelled.
Yes.
I will try going in again then.
Well,
Yeah, we'll scuttle in
Morgana will
here.
try stepping in.
You don't have to make the check while he has it dispelled. You're good.
Yay.
Weymont learned new things today.
I did.
Woohoo.
Definitely increasing that because I tagged it so hard.
15 was good. All right. You guys are all in. It's a big kind of open space. A lot of it is it's her workspace with the stove and the tables and the jars and all that. Like I said, there's some shelves, there's a bed, there's a couple of chairs, there's a small table. There was a trunk or a chest. What do you guys want to look through?
Try and do it fairly methodically. Start with the largest box.
Let's see if we can find what that key she had on her goes to, because that seems like it might be important.
Yeah.
It goes to the large trunk.
Well, let's start there then.
Okay. So you guys open it up. It seems to have a lot of keepsakes. Like there's a locket. You're not sure if it's hers or was like her mother's or grandparents. You're not sure what the connection there is, but it seems to be an expensive locket. It's actually gold. There's some clothes, a couple of nicer pieces of clothing, a nice set of gloves. Perception.
Would it be perception or would it be awareness?
Oh, work on the show.
I got a 10.
Anybody else?
7.
13.
Yeah. Bear with me.
Sorry, what was August?
Just adding it up. 14.
14. So August, it has a false bottom.
Ooh. I will
So you
see if I can open the false bottom.
once you see it and you figure it out, you don't have much trouble with it. It's more of a secret that once you can do that, not a big problem.
Mhm.
Once you get into the false bottom, there's money. Probably all of her life savings, to be honest. And there's a bunch of scattered papers. Most of which are things like, please don't make me do this. I don't want to do this. Why won't she stop? Why is she doing this to me? I just want to be free of her. Why can't I stop?
I will leave the money where it is, but gather all of the papers.
And it seems to degrade. I mean, the writing gets shakier. Sometimes it seems like it's gibberish. At the same time, maybe the gibberish does mean something, you just don't know what it means. Gather up all the papers?
Yeah.
What else are you guys looking
But
around at?
leaving the cash where it is.
Okay. You're not robbing her. That's nice.
No.
I guess I should ask, does anybody else pocket the money?
Yeah, I don't see any reason to do so.
I don't feel like you guys are the party to do that, but you'd be surprised.
I know there are murder hobos out there.
I can be a murder hobo, but August is not a murder hobo.
You never go full murder hobo. I'll just say that much.
Yeah, you've not seen me play computer games.
Yeah, that never counts.
Okay, but some computer Diablo's all about being a murder hobo.
Yeah,
You
so
know.
is The Witcher.
Yeah, but you're strictly murder hobo. You know. But outside of those, you're only like 50% murder hobo. You're murder hobo light.
Collect it up so that the cops don't take it when they search.
Hmm.
So you put it back in the false bottom so that hopefully they don't find it.
Oh
When you
no,
relock
collect it up and take it with us. I'll
Okay.
I'll keep it in a separate bag for her.
So you guys see River put the money in a pouch and put it in her pocket. So unless she said something, that's all you see.
Yeah.
I was going to leave it there. Was I?
Yeah, so the police can find it and not report it.
It was under a false bottom. Police aren't that clever.
I will say something out of character. Who's telling the police to come here and look?
I was going to say we don't necessarily know the police will be here, but as long as it gets back to her.
Which is all fine and dandy. You guys
Yeah,
may want the police to come and look. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue about it at this point, but I will just make the point of as long as it makes its way back to her.
Yeah, it will.
All right, let's carry on.
What else do you guys look? Or you guys want to just do a perception? See what you get from that. That I try to think of specifically look.
Yeah, let's
Be
kind of
better.
just scout and see what we can find, and then see what maybe catches our eye to look at in more detail.
Yeah, under the bed, nightstand.
Through Karma in, I got a 28.
Oh, a 7 from Morgana.
11.
21.
Okay. So we're just going to hit the highlights with those two highlights. In with some of the bones that are obviously left over from rendering and butchering of things. Because most of what she wants is the fat, not the bones so much. But yeah, some of those are human. There's a few human bones over there. And in the one pot on the stove seems to be what was a human skull. And what was that you got, Brad? It was like a 28.
Correct.
So there's looks like a, a a journal, but it seems to be a recipe book more or less. That when doing beef, do this for how long, that type of stuff. Except the last recipe in there is scrawled really. It reminds you of some of these shakier, crazier-esque looking shaky handwriting from the box. And I need you to make was it knowledge arcana type roll?
I don't have any magical
Magic.
knowledge skills, but I'll point it out to Weymont if he wants to try. I can make a general perception test.
Really weird. Test to see if you'll know to point it out to Weymont.
Oh, if it looks weird, then yeah, I'm gonna point it out to anybody.
Perception to see what your initial weird vibe is.
Just perception?
Just for him right now.
Seven on straight perception.
So it's just weird. you're not sure what it is. It seems weird. Weymont, you should have some magic knowledge-y stuff, right?
I've got magic theory, the skill.
Go roll that.
Okay. Oh man, I've been doing an awful lot this session, you guys.
It's almost like we've missed you,
I know.
Yeah.
and we don't have another mage.
And that-
Right, so on magic theory, I got 15.
Nigel will be really helpful when we have the engineering mystery. It'll be great.
that's like ritual magic spell recipe. But you're not sure what the fuck. But it can't be good if you're using the rendered fat of a person.
This is ritual magic. Using a person's rendered fat.
Well, I suppose at least she's not selling it.
Oh yes, wonderful. Thank you for that.
Darling, darlings. She's been dead for a few days. What makes you think she didn't sell it?
Optimism.
Good. Glad we're still optimistic.
Because it takes time
Yeah.
for lard to cool without it being in a cold box.
Sorry, what was that, River?
Because it takes time for lard to cool without it being in a cold box.
Not that long. It's been days. Not that long.
Well, that's super. So, no idea what this ritual does then. It just does something bad.
The assumption would be bad.
Can I see any evidence of it having been performed?
Roll some of perception awarenessy things. See if you can
Aware.
gather. Aware, yeah.
Awareness ought to do it. I can't see that it wouldn't. May throw karma on this. Perhaps a good idea. The most average of average rolls, really. So that's 12.
It's not bad. Yeah, you're pretty sure this has been done. All the stuff to do it is here, and looks like some stuff was used from those stuff. So yeah.
So yeah, that's somebody's done a ritual.
What does the ritual do?
That's an excellent question. I have no idea. I just know that it probably doesn't do something good. You don't render people's fat down using a ritual if you have good intentions.
I think you have a very good point there.
You want inside? Go on.
Nonetheless, I'm going to take out my notepad. I'm going to make a note of what's being used in this ritual. Perhaps the professor might have some ideas.
On the plus side, he got the title professor. Now he has to earn it.
Hey,
That's right.
the hard part is finding enough research materials for it at this point, I think, with his field. This should help him.
Yeah, that's kind of why he's excited. It's probably a bad thing to be excited about, but they don't have a lot to go on.
Well, as we look through the rest of the house, is there anything else in particular that we can find? Or have we exhausted the interesting bits?
I would say the only other possibly interesting bit is that what bits of human remains seem to be a human. So whatever has been done was only done the one time so far. So it's not like there are 20 submarines laying around.
And I'm assuming there's not enough left to identify.
On regular physical, no, I would say probably not. If you had a medium or there's some, I'm sure there's some magic that might be able to.
Well, no, I
but-
mean, like, identify the person. Like, well, the skull is left. Would there be enough to identify by dental records?
I don't think they'd have good enough dental records at this time.
If it's who we think it is, she might have, given, her high status.
Especially if she has odd fillings.
I mean, it's possible. I would say that boiling it didn't ruin the dental records, so it might be possible. But
I mean, either way, we're definitely going to call the police in to get a forensics expert. Quote unquote expert with it at this day and age, but
River maybe had a point when the police look over the place. So are you calling the police right away? Are you going back to talk to see if she's awake? Going to tell the police? Are you turning her over to the police?
well, before we do any of that, when we spoke with the professor, he had said what he thinks, what type of he thinks this is, right? Is it the Boban Sith, or is it something else?
It's a Boban Sith. Is what he thinks.
He thinks. Well, River, you seem to have the intention of taunting the thing. They don't like names. If you try to call it by that name, that may anger it and bring it out.
Sweet little Boban Sith. Come out to play. I got your number.
Come out to play, yeah. Yeah. Nothing seems to happen.
Keeping an eye astrally while she does it?
Nothing seems to happen.
Maybe you didn't do it hard enough.
You got to taunt.
Maybe we need to act.
Boban Sith, Boban Sith.
It's like -2 degrees and snowing. I'm not going to go outside and throw the ball. Mommy loves you. The ball.
Boban Sith, Boban Sith. Are you scared of a mere mortal?
Ah.
Nothing.
Okay, well, worth a try to try and annoy it.
Absolutely.
Does she have any other journals?
That's a very good question. Would you like to look through the books?
Yep.
She does. It seems to, if you flip through it pretty quickly, it's fairly normal stuff until a couple of months ago. And then it just takes on a very angry tone. And it talks about how being fired from that one job just set everything off and how she hates the smell. You can't ever get rid of it. It's permeated everything she owns. You know, now that she's in this body, how's she ever going to find a good husband when she smells like this all the time and looks like this? And it's all her fault. And it just gets angrier and angrier. And then it starts to mention the lady. The lady says, I have to do it. The lady says, but I don't really want to. I mean, but then the hate starts back up and it seems to spin and cycle. And then probably a week or so before the murder, she quits writing it.
Any other name mentioned besides the lady?
No, but there's a weird thing, which won't sound so weird to you guys now, about when she left. Which, with this particular fae, they look like a woman, but they wear long skirts, and a lot of times they have cloven feet. So, reiterates or pushes the fact that it's probably you guys are on the right track as far as which one it is, or which type. But no names.
It's really sad that this lady is so pathetic. She can't come out and face a mere mortal.
You know she's probably just not here, right?
Bingo. She's not there. Bonus round. If she's not there, where is she?
She's gone to the office.
Ding, ding, ding.
All right, hurry back to the office.
All right, you guys get outside the office. Something feels off. What do you do? What are you doing?
Head into the office, weapons ready.
I don't know that we want to go into the office. If we're gonna have to face something, I think being out in the open's better.
Oh,
But
sure,
if
yeah.
the thing you have to face is in the office, that kind of requires us to go inside.
Adjacent to, I don't know if it's able to get in with the wards that the professors put up.
I mean, nobody said those wards were perfect.
Granted, but well, as long as we're close, though, we can try calling it out.
Hint, hint. There are ways for you to check. You guys could look around. Some of you can look around.
Yes, I will get the astral senses on and have a look around.
14 on my perception test. Finally, I roll a good one.
Good. Okay. On your perception test with your 14, you notice a woman, and there's something off about how she's walking away. There's something off about how she. Really quick. Wait, what was the astral sight roll?
The astral sight roll for me was a 10.
I got a 20 on mine.
Okay, on the 10, the wards are holding. I'm not sure if you can kind of tell that they've been battered, but they're holding. You definitely see that they're holding. On a 20, something has tested those fucking wards and has tested them pretty severely. And that woman who's walking away, her patterns, let's just call it tweaky.
I'm going to call out to her. Excuse me, miss, can I have your name?
Morgana's going to try and get ahead, rush off.
And because we only have 15 minutes, I'm going to stop it there. And Brad, I noticed the specific.
Yeah, just making sure that's. Yep, I'm speaking with intention there.
Oh, I did. I believe it was, can I have your name? I put it in the text so that there's no way we forget. Because I did notice the very specific wording. And yeah, I think that we will start that there next time. Good game. Did you guys have a good game?
Yeah, that was great. Thank you.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I feel a little poor Weymont was abused and well used in this round.
Yes.
I think we've all been really helpful. Actually, we've all been really helpful on this mission.
Like
On
all
this
of you have
case.
found out different things that have helped connect the dots. I think you guys have done a fabulous job, but I usually do think you guys, well, because you guys do a fabulous job. You guys work really well together. Good smart team. I honestly thought I would get away with it a little bit longer. But no, you were smart enough to go. It was one of the ones I was at GM. You didn't just try to go back to her house and talk to her out. Damn it all. That
Yeah.
would be to catch her where she can't just close the door and ignore you.
That was the plan. You put people in socially awkward positions.
I know, but not everybody thinks that through. You'd be surprised how many people don't think that through. And then it would work for a little longer. You also mentioned her, and I was pretty sure she was an honor. Now,
Hey, we're the heroes.
prison or be hung, but that would be interesting to see how that's dealt with. Because as of right now, you have proof that she's a murderess. But you also know that on her own, she would have never done this.
Yeah. I'll just say in my home campaign, where I've had player characters playing the investigators for the Arcane Crimes branch, they'd so do their best to exonerate her as expert witnesses because she's been mind controlled into all of this.
And that may be what you guys decide to do.
Because, you know, funny enough, a bunch of PCs are playing decent people.
But that's part of the interest.
Depends
You
on
know, what do you do with it? So, I mean, there's lots of ways you could go with it. You could turn her in and just let her be hung, put in prison, whatever. You could not turn her in. You could turn her in, but defend that it wasn't really her fault. Like, there's a whole lot of ways you can go with it. But first, you have a little problem ahead of you, such as, what are you going to do with, and can you survive whatever you're going to do with that woman? And before she escaped, you find out what that woman was doing with said ritual thing in the rendered lard that apparently may have been sold to houses.
Do we care? It's bad.
You might care because how bad and what does it do? Or if whatever it is, if she's dead, does that stop whatever the effect was going to be?
We hope so.
I mean, either way, ultimately we're going to end up bringing in bigger guns on the magical investigation front than what we have right now. But yeah, we're This is the point where we step in the stuff.
That's another thing. Like, do you do the best you can without getting into too physical of an altercation and then try to bring in some big guns? I never know what you guys are going to do until you do it. But
Hey,
you guys come up with some very well thought out smart options. And I appreciate them. I think you guys do a great job.
hey, you can know what to expect from River. She's going to put bullets in it until it stops moving.
Yeah, that's just. I'm figuring as soon as this woman reveals herself as a fae, River's just gonna start shooting.
I did give her permission. Sorry about that, guys.
Okay, so part
Yep.
of the coming up with solutions is handling River.
Look, I was given a checklist. If it mind controls, kill it. So mages, vampires, fae.
I am not in control. So it's one of those falsehoods. You're the GM, so you're in charge, but I am not.
Oh,
I
the
just told you about the weather.
story.
That's what I told you about the weather. What do you want from me? All right, you guys did fantastic. And you're about to go stuff. So I think if I happen to come up with 500 AP as a solution for this round, you guys have done so well and worked so well together. Is anyone going to argue me?
No.
Nope, that's fine.
Nope.
Cool.
Oh,
I'll take it.
No, how dare
Yes,
you give
more
us
AP
that
for
many
Christmas,
points?
then.
Like, really?
I mean, because it may seem like a lot, but I really do feel like you guys have done very, very well. And I like to reward very, very smart, very, very well. So I want you to realize that I am rewarding you with the GM version of cookies. If you were in real life here, I could cookies, but I can't do that because you don't live here. So I hearts all of you. You guys have done amazing. You might, if you haven't been spending your cookies, you might consider spending some because depending on how this goes, things could get wumpy.
Yeah, we're gonna have to cover that, Chris.
Brad, help.
Yeah, no, we'll get you sorted. I've got a feeling how this goes down next session. That's probably going to be when Nigel gets his magic abilities revealed. Just given how this crap is most likely gonna play out.
I mean, it'll probably look like science anyways, if he's from like the Galvanic Order or something.
I mean, granted, but still, it's, you know.
There are possibilities that depending on how this goes and how quickly the river shoots things, that it could reveal that Nigel's a mage, yes. But you never know. That is the one thing you learn about players. You never know.
Trixie we are.
I don't
Yep.
know. I run a D&D game at my high school, and I can fairly well suss out what they're going to do from time to time. Like, I always know that the one player who I've got in my head just now is going to do something stupid.
Are you still playing with Patrick?
No, these are high schoolers,
Oh,
Brad.
okay.
Dear, seasoned smart players are actually harder to predict because they'll come up with something that you're like, I hadn't thought of that.
I changed the whole campaign of Joel's because he hadn't figured, he hadn't thought of something, and I was just like, well, obviously you do it like this, and he's just like, oh, that's
It
better
should
than
be
my
noted.
idea.
It should be noted that the plan included the line, and then I hit myself in the face with the axe.
No, but
It's true.
On more than one occasion,
Good
I'm
work.
pretty sure I derailed Andrew's Earthdawn campaign with crap that I came up with.
This one didn't derail. It's changed and improved because the filing, given the concept was they had a magical axe that could kill gods, and they were trying to kill a bad god, and whoever uses the axe to kill a god gets their power. My original idea would be choose who is the next god of undeath. Find the least bad option. And then Michelle went, but if I use it, I can take the power. And then if I kill myself with the axe, what happens to it?
The god of death, and there's no thing.
I went, okay, it's a feedback loop. The power is destroyed. That actually makes sense to me. There was then, in like the penultimate session, a debate between the characters over who got to commit suicide to kill the god.
Right.
And given that my prestige or epic destiny or whatever it was the Undying Warrior.
Oh, that's even going to make it worse.
And it was my plan.
Yeah.
I got to do it. And
the rest of the party.
The rest of the party couldn't actually stop him because he was the paladin.
It's like the head of Vecna.
Well, it was they were killing Orcus, but then they did a big ritual to rescue his soul and pull it out of the death loop that he'd put it into. And I played that, made a bunch of rolls for the ritual and told them they suddenly realise it can't work. Cut to a 15 years later cutscene, and then at the end of that revealed that her character survived, and the reason that the ritual couldn't work is that he naturally resurrected himself as soon as they'd freed him from the snarl of death god power. It really tore everyone. It was a good end to a campaign.
It was. It was a good campaign.
As a GM, you don't have to worry about advance or not bright, less creative, even if they think they're chaotic. The players throw the influences. It's your smart, experienced players who come up with shit that you're just like, whoa.
Yeah.
We're saying to. Those are the guys you gotta watch.
Yep. I'm going to need to sign off because I need to go and sort out food for me and Michelle. So, thank you all.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Have a good rest of your
Thank
day,
you.
guys.
Good night.
See ya.
You too.
Are we still on? Are we still live?
I was about to say, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the stream here, so we'll continue on. So, but yeah, so everybody who tuned in, thank you very much for watching. Next session is going to be the 28th. We'll have the announcements for that come up on Discord when that goes live. So until then, thank you very much, and we'll see you guys next time.